Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, yo, man, how the heck are you? It is The Monty Show, live on your YouTube machine. Appreciate you guys being here. Jake, appreciate doing the show with you every day.
Nice shirt, bro.
Why bring it up? Why start trouble? Why start trouble? I just paid you a compliment. I just paid you. Oh, hey.
I was trying to pay you one back, man.
What's up, fat ass? Looks real good in blue. Are you done?
My bad. Sorry, my bad.
All right. Need a new co-host on the show. The Monty Show, as always, is presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Hands down, no doubt about it. Pretty cool watching a local police department outside our front door doing motorcycle training. Always makes me think of the Advocates, because when you're on your bike, you know it is not a matter of if, it is when you end up in a situation where you're on the wrong side of an automobile. Because we're terrible drivers in this country. And, you know, funny thing is, I was talking to my insurance agent today about motorcycles and scooters and glass and Mustangs, and it's a crazy world out there. Have the Advocates on your mind. When you leave the house and you say to yourself, hey, I got in an accident today, theadvocates.com. Hey, I got hurt at work today, fell off that ladder, didn't have any safety, advocates.com. You got to do it, right? Because the best part about the Advocates is you don't pay them until and unless they win your case, period. So they'll help you defer your medical bills. They're going to get you back on your feet. They're going to make sure that you get what you deserve at the Advocates. Theadvocates.com. Let's see. Let's do some shout-outs today to start the show. Who's the first one in today? Make sure if you guys are here, all 247 of you. Drew Christensen was first one in. And first like today, that's my guy, Drew.
Let's go.
Appreciate you. Truck Stop Gumby, of course. Second comment, third like, yo, cow turd.
Yo, cow turd.
Cow turd.
Saul, what's up? It's been too long, my friend. He says, sup, boys. What's up, Saul? Good to see you. Let's see, who else? Patrick Bourne is here. I have a video coming out at 4:30. Neat. Cool, bro. Preston Dorfeld, isn't Apple offering around $20 million? We're going to talk a lot about Apple today. Do you guys believe, and I think this is a really significant one. Do you guys believe that Apple is a viable partner for ESPN? Not for the Pac-12, for ESPN. I think this is a huge question. I think there's been a lot of talk about this. We released a short on it 2 weeks ago. We did another one today on the channel you can find where we talked about Apple versus ESPN for the Pac-12 package. And I think one of the more interesting questions in this whole Pac-12 pursuit of a TV deal, do you believe that Apple and ESPN would play nice in the sandbox? Can you have part of the package on ESPN and part of the package on Apple TV? And I just don't see how that's possible. I've talked to sources in TV. I've talked to sources, around ESPN who have told us that there's no way that makes sense for them. Apple and Disney are absolutely competitors. It makes very little sense for ESPN and Apple to make a deal together, Jake. And frankly, I just don't see how it benefits either one of them.
Yeah, and I think the trouble with this idea is that the desire is different. The desire level is different for these two. So ESPN, doesn't covet Pac-12 content. They just don't. They're willing to pay a certain number, $90 million, and they're not really willing to go past that number. And when you look at Apple, the problem with Apple is that they're an all or nothing proposition. So while both of these two are rivals to each other in the streaming space, ESPN is just on another planet as far as content creation is concerned, because streaming is just one section of their business where streaming is all that Apple does. And I think when you compare these two, it's just such a different proposition for the Pac-12. If you ask the question, well, what happens if you combine Apple and ESPN? Like, there's this idea going around that, Apple might be interested in buying ESPN, or just the whole deal, right? That Disney wants to sell ESPN and Apple's going to buy it, and that's how this is all going to work out together. And I'm not so sure that I'm confident in that, mainly because ESPN and frankly ESPN Plus is just thriving. A lot of people will tell you, oh, well, it's the layoffs and they're struggling, but they're only laying people off, not because their business at ESPN is struggling, but frankly, Disney Plus is struggling, and Disney is pulling money out of ESPN to cover their asset at Disney Plus. So,
yeah, I think those are all valid points. And to your point about layoffs, what is it that people don't like about ESPN? And I want to hash this out, because I truly don't understand what the rub with ESPN is and why there is so much frustration and why people are so upset at ESPN or rooting for ESPN to fail and, assuming that ESPN is failing. Because I got news for you. ESPN makes a ton of money.
Yeah.
They make $137.7 million a month on ESPN Plus subscriptions. Do you guys understand that is $1.7 billion a year? And it's only going up. It is only going up. Their profit per customer, per subscriber, went from, in the first quarter of this year, the first 3 months of the year, from $5.34 to $5.54. They went up 20 cents.
Yeah.
Per subscriber.
Which doesn't seem like a lot, but then when you go, oh, hey, by the way, there's 25 million of those.
It's a ridiculous number.
Huge number.
It's a ridiculous number. And so I come back to this question about, hey, what is the rub with ESPN? I don't personally understand it. I feel like ESPN has become personal to certain viewers and certain fan bases, and I've never understood that. ESPN is a broadcast company. I don't look at ESPN as a company where I'm like, oh, they hate me, so I got to hate them. Like, it's not personal, man. They're quite literally just delivering baseball, football, hockey, you name it, NBA games.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that's just not good enough. And I think you're looking at a situation where ESPN is becoming the only place for sports, not a place. ESPN, the worldwide leader, is inarguably the home of sports in this country. And really, I think I can make an argument that it is the home of sports on this planet.
Facts.
With the way that Deportes is done and their partnerships across Europe and Asia, ESPN is the worldwide leader in sports for a reason. I think their deal with F1 has clearly demonstrated that. It's just remarkable what they've done as a company to grow their footprint. So I struggle when we get into these conversations about how bad ESPN sucks. ESPN doesn't suck. There's no metric, and I don't know which one you would even try to fathom to come up with that says ESPN sucks. Okay, well, you're going to need to explain that.
Yeah.
Because again, I don't want to speak for you, but there's not a sport that I don't watch on ESPN, whether it's baseball, hockey, certainly NFL, certainly college football, college basketball, the College World Series, you name it, I watch it on ESPN.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly think that I want it any other way, because I think they are by far the best at what they do. There's no doubt. There's a reason that they've got the Masters or the college football playoff or
recently bringing back the NHL,
the NBA finals on ABC and ESPN. It's not close. So, do you have a criticism of ESPN, or where do you come down on this?
Yeah, I mean, my only criticism of ESPN right now is the talking head shows and the lack of talent. I mean, that's really all it is. And again, what does that bring me right back to? Well, the layoffs that really aren't even in their control. And the tough part is I look at ESPN and their ability to keep a pulse on consumer habits. And they understand that people are not as invested in talking head shows on their network, that they're more invested in live sporting events, and that's pretty much it. And, the talking head shows are necessary. NBA Today is necessary, but at the same time, they're not going to pour a bunch of money into Pardon the Interruption because that show has a purpose. That show is filler content. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with filler content. Every network has talking head show that eats up an hour or two a day when they don't have anything to put on. Every network has that. So to me, my only criticism of ESPN right now is that I feel like, as an example, SportsCenter's fallen off a little bit, right? The personalities are not nearly as dynamic as they once were. Like when I was a kid, SportsCenter was everything to me. I love that. I loved SportsCenter so much. I looked forward to it every single day when I was waking up as a kid. And now it's just like, well, yeah. I mean, what's on Golf Channel? What's on here? What's on there? Like, it's not must watch anymore. And so for me, that would be my only criticism. But even then, I understand it because you're changing. You're manipulating the business. You're putting your assets in other places. So that's why I say, like, to me, it's not really a debate that ESPN is the dominant force in sports broadcasting. There's no doubt about it. Now, is CBS excellent? Yes. Is NBC, good but not great? Absolutely. Like, I look at Fox. Fox is the one that I think has the weakest proposition.
Absolutely.
Like, Fox is all live sports, and that's it. You don't even have... like, what else do you watch Fox for? And I mean Fox for sports, not like Fox for politics. Like, when you're looking for sports on Fox, what else do you watch?
I don't even know what that would be.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, I have no idea what that would even be. I just look at Fox Sports like, and I'm sure a lot of people saw this today, but you look at what's going on at Fox Sports. Today is Shannon Sharp's last day on whatever that terrible show is.
Undisputed.
Okay, thank you.
Out of here.
Yeah, that show, I told you I've watched it now twice in my life. Twice too many times. But if a tree falls in the forest and nobody is there, does it make a sound? I mean, you can't tell me that Skip, and really his new name is Shit Bayless, and Shannon Sharp. Are you really telling me that show is at all relevant?
No.
I don't even watch First Take because I can't do Screaming A. Smith, right? So you can't tell me that ESPN is all of a sudden like just this. And I see the comments about ESPN went woke and lost me forever. They didn't lose you forever. If you are, there is. I always love the guy who's like, I'll never go back. They showed Colin Kaepernick. Okay, cool. So you're never going to watch ESPN again.
Not in a bar, not at your house, not on your phone.
No, not intentionally, because they have the biggest sporting events all on ESPN.
Oh.
Every one of them. All the big, like, it's crazy to me that people are like, oh, I am politically savvy and ESPN. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Come on. If you don't like talking head shows, don't. But if the Pac-12 network is dead and Pac-12 football is on ESPN, you're going to watch ESPN or Big 12 or SEC because all of them are there. The only thing they don't have is Big 10. And frankly, I don't think they need it. Mm-hmm. I don't think they need it. Mm-hmm. It is just amazing to me that it's just shocking.
Yeah.
How little people understand the massive amount of money they make. Like, it's hard to even say it out loud with a straight face that every month ESPN makes $137.7 million minimum on subscribers to ESPN Plus and $1.7 billion a year. And every day that number goes up.
Yeah.
Every day it goes up. Every time somebody signs up for YouTube TV, ESPN makes $12.
Damn.
ESPN makes $12 every single time somebody signs up at YouTube TV.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, this does not even consider the $2.6 million they make every single year on cable and satellite and bar TVs that get ESPN programming.
Yeah.
Like, it's quite literally an ATM machine. And that doesn't even count all of that this doesn't have not a penny to do with advertising money. So much so that they are worth $4 billion in profit to Disney.
Yeah.
$4 billion in profit.
Yeah, and I think,
That's crazy.
you compare ESPN's profits and their money situation to Apple TV, and I just don't think it's really even a conversation. I mean, again, obviously, Apple as a company makes loads of money. That's not, they're one of the biggest companies in our country.
I think they are the largest market cap.
Yeah,
in fact.
But I look at Apple TV and I'm like, yeah, well, Apple TV hasn't really hit it off. I mean, Apple TV is still trying to kind of find their way. And I agree. I agree with the defenders who say, hey, Apple TV is still really young in the game. Absolutely. And that's why I think they're aggressively pursuing football, college football specifically. I think for them, it's a smart play because I think at least then you can kind of legitimize yourself in the sports landscape by having college football of any variety. I would prefer it not be the Pac-12, to be honest with you. I would at least prefer it to be the ACC or maybe the Big 12 or whatever, like something that definitively has relevancy. But hey, the Pac-12, if you can get it, that's great. I just don't know, again, to the point you've been making on this conversation, I don't know from a business standpoint, when you're putting an agreement together, what's the trackable metric? How do you know that the Pac-12 is driving you subs outside of your sub count going up? I mean, because who the hell knows? So that's what I think is really tough. Whereas with ESPN, you know where that's coming from. They have it all lined out.
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my portfolio for stocks. I own Apple stock. Apple has a $2.9 trillion market cap.
That's what I'm saying.
I said trillion.
So this is
trillion.
Right. So this is why I say
more than $1 billion.
Money is not the issue for Apple. Apple TV,
God.
the segment within the company, is why money's an issue.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And so that's why I go back to this question about, hey, are ESPN and Apple, is it ESPN versus Apple for the Pac-12 TV package? Because I don't see that those two can do business together. I really don't. But the biggest question is, again, and I feel like we've talked about this a lot over the last 6 months, will presidents in the Pac-12 support an Apple TV deal? And I don't think they will. Unless it is a game a week type thing. Mm-hmm. I don't think they will. And I happen to know it's not a game a week. And it's really unfortunate because I just don't. Every day I feel better and worse. And I'm like, well, I just don't see a way that they are going to survive. And tomorrow something will happen. I'll be like, oh yeah, they're going to make it. Like it needs to come to a head. Yeah. It is June 13th. We are rapidly approaching. We are 2.5 weeks away from the 4th of July, man. Yeah. Like, do you guys understand that? It is almost the 4th of July. That's ridiculous to me. Yeah. That here we sit. And it is we're 2 weeks away from the 4th of July. And I just don't know what you do about that. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't have a deal, really, I think in days, I just think you're going to lose people. Yeah. That's what I don't understand. So we'll see. Dave Patrick says ESPN and Apple won't work together. That I agree with you on. I don't think they will. Yeah. I don't think they will at all. Matt Ritson says Monty and Jake wear Jayhawk colors today. Okay. Aren't the Jayhawks like a deeper blue? Ryan Thomas gives us $2 to say with all its lawsuits, the PAC needs the advocates. Seriously. Dude, seriously. They need the advocates. Like it is, everybody needs the advocates. Jim Choi says Big Ten Network better than ACC or SEC. Which has what to do with what? In terms of what? Yeah, what does that mean? Larry Pilgrim, I only took my one viewer rating and my $250 a year from the NFL Network, not ESPN. Okay. I mean, that's cool. The Tater Man, who I still need to know, like, are you a Tater Talk guy? Is that what, or are you just a huge fan of Taysom Hill? Taters. ESPN's deal with F1 is crazy good for ESPN. ESPN pays $89 million a year. ESPN doesn't have to lift a finger to produce any of the content, which is not exactly true. That's like free money as popular as F1 is becoming. ESPN contributes to the production. Mm-hmm. And ESPN has to, essentially ESPN takes a feed and repurposes that feed. So there, it is not. A lot of people think that ESPN just like sends everybody home because F1's on. It doesn't work that way. They have to process that feed. They have to put graphics on that feed. They have to, I think they're sponsored by Mother's car care products.
Yeah.
So they have to put all that in. Like it's not an expensive deal for them. And I would agree it's a good deal for them. And Donut says PAC Media Days will be interesting coming up. He gives us $5 to say that. Mm-hmm. They will. And we are a month away. A month from right now, we'll be in Dallas at Big 12 Media Days. So it's going to be interesting to see how exactly all that plays out. Because the answer is I don't know what that's going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
I truly don't know what that's going to look like. It's amazing. Gary Godorov says, I'm in the hospital and I still follow the show. Gary, I hope you're okay.
Dude, Gary, what's up, dude?
Yeah, you all right,
I think that's HIPAA.
Sorry to hear that. I know that's rough. Let's see. What did Gumby's been on a roll today. San Diego State. Glenn, what's up? ESPN's slant at times is what makes it personal for some people, kind of like the Monty show, but yet I still return again and again.
But I'm really curious though, and I'm being genuine here. What slant? What angle? I understand when people are like, oh, well, they cover the Lakers too much. Okay, that's your personal preference.
Well, I think what Glenn is referencing is the period of time where politics was openly talked about on ESPN. And I think very, very much 2014, 2015, 2016, when a certain individual was running for president, that that YouTube does not like us to reference often.
I'm not a big fan of Fox.
When our former president was running, ESPN and their personalities were quite vocal in their distress over that situation. I think the Black Lives Matter movement, I think there were a lot of politics. There were a lot of politics from 2014 to 2020. And ESPN, I think, did not do themselves any favor by not reining in their talent.
Yeah.
Because, frankly, if it's bad for business, it's bad for ESPN.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, ESPN's business model has never been ratings. ESPN's business model has always been to have the biggest sporting events. And you know that if you have the college football playoff, people are going to watch, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You know that the NBA Finals has rated very well. This NBA Finals had done quite well. You look at, their golf ratings are ridiculous. By the way, did anybody see that the RBC? You told me this number and it shocked me. The RBC Canadian Open drew 3.3 million viewers to CBS.
Yes, it did.
We got to talk about that.
Yes, it did.
But, Glenn, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, Glenn's joking with us about San Diego State. He wishes we would only say nice and correct things. And
yeah, I wish
how great San Diego State is.
Athletic director and president knew who they were and where they were trying to go.
I would agree with that. But, Glenn, it's not personal, yo. It's
I love you, bro. It ain't personal.
T-Duck says ASU is AAU. Would you rather have a degree from ASU or Stanford? Are we really debating AAU again?
And are we really comparing, educationally speaking, ASU to Stanford?
Yeah. Gary says ESPN for a long time had a monopoly with sports until other broadcast companies won the NFL, MLB, NHL before Fox and others started to make contacts and win them. But here's the problem, though. Like, you look at the U.S. Open on Peacock. Who's going to Peacock to watch the U.S. Open? Yeah, neither am I. Neither am I. Like, and we talked about this on the show yesterday.
Yeah.
If you put Pac-12 football on FS2, should you put it on TV at all? You're worried about, and Gary, I think this is an excellent point. When we talk about the best of the best.
Yeah.
When I think about Fox and Fox Sports TV, Fox Sports Radio, Big Fox.
Yeah.
I think Fox, Big Fox, like
the Fox,
The Simpsons and the NFL and Cops. And,
Channel 13.
Your favorite Fox channel.
Yeah.
That's Fox. Fox Sports is, I mean, come on, dude. Nobody watches Fox Sports.
I think FS1 is palatable, but it's not nearly what the
who
big
watches
Fox is.
it?
I watch baseball on it sometimes, but like from a Pac-12 standpoint, it's not valuable.
But
right?
I can even tell you, this Shannon Sharp show with his co-host, whose name I will never say again.
Right.
I never watched it until it got controversial. I watched that one clip online, and then like a month ago, I watched 3 minutes of it when it was on the TV.
And I think that's Fox's problem. And I think that's also like, kind of unique to them. Like listen, when you talk about quality of filler content, it absolutely matters. Like
I totally agree.
ESPN's filler content is okay, in my opinion. I think CBS has the best filler content, in my opinion. I think they do some really cool stuff. CBS HQ, I think, struggles for personality, but I think you get what you're looking for out of a show like that.
But isn't that what we're all after? When we were talking about cow turd yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're taught like this Tucker Carlson story.
Cow turd.
Or, you look at Don Lemon or Shannon Sharp or any of the personalities you regularly watch.
Mm-hmm.
You only tune into their show for them. So when Tucker left Fox and went to Twitter, where did everybody go? Oh, I guess I'll just stay at Fox. No. They went to Twitter because they're there for Tucker. They're not there for Fox.
Yeah.
And I think ESPN understands that people come to ESPN for games. I don't go to ESPN for the Sports Center personalities. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't.
Used to.
When it was the big show with, when DP was on there and Oberman, and yes, absolutely. Yeah. But with all due respect, the NBA coverage is hard to listen to a lot of times. Like you look at this, like Mike Greenberg. I love Greeny. He's really the only guy that I'm like, yeah, if Greenberg's on, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Right? Like Mike Breen worked his 100th game last night for the NBA Finals. I'm listening to Mike Breen call it.
Yes.
Right? I am. But if we're talking dollars to donuts NBA personalities, aren't we all going inside the NBA on TNT with Shaq and Kenny and Charles and right? I mean, you are. And the hard part is I don't care about First Take. I don't care about the show Shannon Sharp used to be on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch that stuff, dude. I watch Pat McAfee.
Yep.
I watch Jim Rome. I don't watch Cow Turd. I just don't.
Yeah.
You watch personalities and you watch games. If Glenn, my guy Glenn, San Diego State guy, he's going to watch San Diego State baseball and softball.
Yep.
He's going to break balls over San Diego State softball.
Yeah.
When they're up here on the hill. Right? Like,
yeah.
He's going to do that. I'm going to watch the Cubs every time they're on. I'm going to watch the Chicago Bears, Notre Dame football. Like, I'm in, dude. Like, I'm watching it. If whatever's on after that is whatever's on after that, I'm probably not watching it.
Yeah, and again, I think this goes right back to what we were talking about yesterday, where it's like, hey, people are going to buy, like when you talk about Apple TV, like I'm not going to buy Apple TV because I don't see much value much past whatever product I'm looking for. Just like in your situation where it's like, hey, I'm not watching, the US Open on the cock. I'm not doing it. I'm going to watch something else and wait for it to roll up on, on Big Boy NBC. I am. Like I'm not paying for Peacock, and I give them credit for expanding the product and adding more to it, and I know they're working hard, but it's just not there for me yet. I look at, Apple TV is the same thing, and I know, like, I think it's Greg who's a big Apple TV guy with the MLS package, and like, and I can't remember if Tanner has it too. Like, there are some people on the show that have it who really enjoy it and say it's a great experience, and I'm sure it is, but the problem is for the Pac-12, I'm not going to sign up for Apple TV to watch your product. I'm just not. And the problem is that when it's a Saturday night and I've been out doing whatever it is that I'm doing on any given Saturday night, and I get home and I want to sit on the couch for an hour and fall asleep to whatever game, that's the game I'm going to watch. And it should be the Pac-12 after dark, but it's not going to be. It's going to be SC or UCLA against somebody. You know that. So that's why I say, like, this is not a difficult conversation. I just think that networks have not fully adjusted to the concept of, hey, people are only here for what they want to be here for. They're not here for Stephen A. Smith anymore. That's the hard part.
Yeah, and I don't think you're wrong about this monopoly, this comment that I think you could be very right, but you guys, you got to think about the personalities. You know, like the problem is, like, when you look at sports talk personalities, like Paul Feinbaum.
Yeah.
People don't watch Paul Feinbaum because you don't know where to find him. But if you found Feinbaum for 2 days a week during the college football season, you'd never turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
You would never turn it off because Paul Feinbaum is much watched TV during the college football season.
Yes.
So I say, like, my sports talk flavor of the day is generally Jim Rome and Pat McAfee. I cannot watch Colin Cowherd. It's just not my. He doesn't suck. He's not terrible. It's just not my flavor.
Cow turd.
Right? Like, it is not my flavor. I can watch Romy for a few minutes. I can watch Pat McAfee maybe for 35, 40 minutes. I can watch Romy for, if it's on in the background, it can sit there and drone. But I can never have First Take or the Shannon Sharp former show with Dickhead.
Like, I can't yelling guy show.
No, I can't have the screaming show in the background. It's the same reason that I don't watch CNN or Fox or MSNBC anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's just noise.
Yes.
It's just noise. But when it comes to, like, I think sports and politics are really close. Why did I watch CNN last night? Because Chris Christie did a town hall.
But you weren't. But I think this is the perfect example. If that was on Fox, you would have watched it on Fox.
I would have watched Fox.
If it was on MSNBC.
If it was on the cooking channel, I'd have watched the cooking channel.
Exactly.
But I'm not there. And it might have been Anderson Cooper. I don't even remember who moderated the fucking thing. But I can tell you, I was there to listen to the Republican presidential candidate.
Yeah.
That's the same reason I watched Trump. That's the same reason I watched Christie. And both of those happen to be on CNN. Yeah. But by no means do I watch CNN on a regular basis because it's just all noise, dude.
Yeah.
So all of this to say, like, I don't know. Like, I know you're a Jim Rome guy. And I respect that, and I totally get it.
But even with that, like, I can't watch this program front to back because I don't enjoy the rando football player interview. This is the thing that I think he does really well. And I think Pat does this really well too. Rolling right out of the gate that Jim's going to give you 25 minutes in his first segment. And I still maintain, and I've maintained it for years, it is the best part of his show every single day. That first take, perfect, and then you can get out and go watch something else. It's just reliable. You know what you're going to get. And that's why I say, like, yeah, he may be a little bit older now, but he still delivers on the product. And there are many times where I don't like the product and many times where I'm laughing my ass off. And I think that's the balance you have to find. The problem is that ESPN talking head shows or, Fox talking head shows, like, they are too serious now. Even like JJ Redick sometimes on ESPN and the fights they get into on First Take. Everyone's like, oh my God, great point by JJ. And I love JJ.
But Old Man in the Three?
Amazing.
I can listen to JJ for 35, 40 minutes. On the First Take thing?
Yeah, First Take.
Like Kendrick Perkins can't do it.
Can't do it, bro.
Can't do it. Like,
because it's garbage.
Monica McNutt can't do it.
Yeah.
JJ Redick? Okay, I'm going to see what JJ can do.
Yeah.
But when he starts yelling at Stephen A. Smith, can't do it. When Stephen A. opens his mouth and says any other word other than nothing, can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Now, if it's Greeny, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
When Greeny's on First Take, I watch. When Greeny's not, I don't watch. And, a lot of times the biggest issue is it puts me to sleep and I got to get a bucked up energy, a buckshot,
man.
To stay awake with
really
boring
do.
sports talk. Bucked Up Energy, the official energy provider of the Monty Show. Cheers, my friends. It's a buckshot. Here's how easy it is to drink it. Done. That's it. And now I've got energy to carry me through the rest of the day. And I talk about Bucked Up like this all the time. Think about in your head right now, I'm going to ask you, what's your hobby? What's your favorite hobby? Right now, mine's golfing. Well, favorite's not the word I would use. Anyway, the point being, I'm going to go do golf activity after the show today. Bucked Up's going to power that for me. If I'm going to go to the gym in the morning, I'm going to hit a buckshot right before I walk out the door. It's as good as It's as good as any pre-workout you can take. I love Buckshot for that exact
What
reason.
you bench?
I love the fact that, hey, a lot of people tell me every day, hey, I use Buckshot right after lunch, and I don't get my after lunch lull, because it gives you long-lasting, quality, consistent energy so you can be more productive. Working out, playing golf, sitting in front of your computer, working on a pivot table.
Yep.
Whatever you need, Buckshot's going to do that for you. And I want to give it to you for free because you guys support this show. So we tell you every day, hey, we always try to get back to you guys. 6 free Buckshots. Go get them. All you have to do is get to the link in the description of this show below. And you're going to see it says free Buckshot. They also have their brand new Buck Bars that are flipping fantastic.
For real.
I've kind of changed the way I use Buck Bars now. In my weight loss journey, so I've lost about 25 pounds now. And one of the major things that I do that I think helps me so much is one of the first things I eat every day is a Buck Bar now. And it keeps me full longer so that I don't have to eat in volume. I don't eat as much. And you know the other thing with Buckshot and Buck Bars that makes such a difference? I'm not snacky anymore. I'm not. And it's really helped me. And we joke about this shirt. There used to be a time where I couldn't put the shirt on because it just was too small. So I have 1 million more pounds to lose, absolutely. But Bucked Up has been a big part of helping me lose weight because their products just work. So get to buckedup.com if you need pre-workouts, if you need creatines, greens. You know, I use a lot of things like collagen peptides. All of those things, you can get a discount when you use the promo code Monty. Get 20% off at buckedup.com or just go in the description below and get the free samples. Super easy. Bucked Up, the official energy provider of the Monty Show. If you're just tuning in this afternoon, kind of having an ESPN versus Apple conversation, as ESPN and Apple seem to be the only two remaining combatants, if you will, for the Pac-12 TV deal. And I think one of the more interesting conversations I've had lately centers around this idea that ESPN is willing to take a certain level of programming. ESPN, I think there's no question, would take tier 1, tier 2, the first or second best game in the Pac-12 every week. But they're only going to do that for $90 million a year, period. They're not willing to spend more. So why we haven't gotten a TV deal yet in the Pac-12 is dead center on who's going to give us the money that we need to keep this conference together. That is the bottom line. And I think it could be PBS and they would do it if the money was right. Apple's the only one that's going to cut you a check. And we've been hearing this buzzword about, hey, it's going to be on par with the Big 12. It's going to be equal to the Big 12, which I don't believe that to be the case. The only place that happens is a tech streaming company. And that tech streaming company right now is Apple TV. I think that is the only place where you can look at the Pac-12 and say, hey, if they get Apple TV, that's $30 million a year. I could see that happening, but that means it's exclusively on Apple TV. That means there's not going to be ABC, ESPN, Fox. That's all in on Apple TV. And again, our sources in the conference has repeatedly told us that no less than half of the remaining 10 teams in the Pac-12 are unwilling to go all in on streaming. If that were the case, they would have a deal with Amazon already. But we know that's not going to happen because we've reported exclusively on this show that Amazon is out on Pac-12 right now. So it's going to be a tough road. And I think that's why this conversation about Apple buying ESPN is just so fascinating. And this idea that Disney would spin off ESPN, I could actually see that happening, where Disney says, okay, broadcast company, $85 trillion, we'll give you ESPN. I can't ever see them doing that with Apple. On what level does it make sense that ESPN would sell or be sold by Disney to Apple?
Is that a real question?
And it's not a money thing.
Yeah.
It is very clearly, we told you earlier in the show, Apple's worth $2.9 trillion.
Dude.
They're not, it's not that they can't scratch the check.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a dollar amount where Bob Iger and the guys at Disney would say, oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I just don't see them trying to strengthen one of their major competitors in the entertainment space. And I think part of the problem for Apple is people view Apple as a hardware company. hey, my phone, my computer, my iPad, my Apple Watch, right? I think a lot of people look at Apple like that. I think there is a large portion of our society that does not even realize that Apple has a production house. I think there is a large portion of people in this country who don't know that Apple TV exists as a platform and they're trying to be a major player in professional sports.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't understand that. And I think if Apple were to acquire ESPN and its assets, you've just taken Apple from a really low-level player in sports and you've put them at the top of the ladder. I mean, it's as simple as I can say it.
Yeah.
If you give Apple control of ESPN, Jake, I think you've completely changed the sports space.
Yeah, and I just think that Apple, I mean, for Apple, they could really use that kind of influx and know-how, that kind of influx in ability, certainly. But I think that, you know, there's not yet been a streamer that's really taken the forefront. I know that Amazon's got a game of the week with the NFL. I know that. And I know that Apple TV's got a full MLS package. But there isn't really one streamer on their own who doesn't have linear that's really gone to the forefront. And that's why I think ESPN is so dominant, because Fox and CBS and even NBC with Peacock aren't doing what ESPN is doing. And so if I consider this idea of Apple TV buying ESPN out from under Disney,
dude,
yeah, that would change the game. I don't even know, like I don't know, how would you, like, if I'm Apple and I buy ESPN, I'm not changing anything at ESPN. I just want all that revenue to come through my company instead of Disney. That's it.
Yes.
Like, you're just buying this juggernaut of a content machine, and that's it. I wouldn't fire people. I wouldn't change anything. Obviously, people would quit and there'd be rollover. Totally get it. You can hire back, no problem. Like, great. But I think there are definitely unforeseen things that would happen as part of that we just don't know about or wouldn't think about right now. I guarantee it. So it's not perfect, but I definitely think that it would revolutionize sports, no doubt.
Saul Goodman, could TNT and CBS or Paramount jump in? Well, I mean, they could, but if you're CBS, why would you jump in on the Pac-12?
Just don't have a need.
And you already have late night games with NBC and Peacock.
Yeah.
So what? There's that. This is the real issue. And you know what, Saul? I think it's an excellent question. Like, where is it that the Pac-12 can even go? Because we, again, and I will keep saying it because if I don't, who will? We told you exclusively NBC was involved in negotiations with the Pac-12, not once, but twice.
Yeah.
And could not put a deal together. And then NBC does one game for Peacock, streaming an NFL playoff game exclusively on Peacock. And all of a sudden, the Pac-12 goes away. Man, you love that drop. You love that drop. But on Peacock, they're getting an NFL game, and they spent $120 million on that.
And their number is just massive.
But it's the NFL versus the Pac-12. And I think that's where the NBC deal went to die.
Yeah.
So if NBC's out and if CBS is out, you look at some of the other options. Ion TV has repeatedly said with Scripps Sports, no.
That's out of the window.
The CW said we will not do a national deal with you. It'll be a footprint deal west of the Rockies, which is a no. So you had a deal. And I shouldn't say you had a deal. We were reporting for an extensive period of time, hey, ESPN and Amazon as a combination was a deal that I think could have been had.
You have a deal.
I think that deal could have been had. But George, I think, just wanted so badly to get to $50 million a year per school. I think... And I haven't been directly told this, but the feeling that I got was that he just thought there was going to be a golden goose coming down.
Back to the envelope calculations.
Yeah, he thought there was going to be a golden goose coming down the road.
Yeah.
And that golden goose never appeared.
Yeah, that golden goose is in the Big 12.
And so Amazon put their focus somewhere else, and ESPN put their focus somewhere else. And there's a lot of thought that the SEC is going to get paid more to get that 9th conference game, which makes sense for ESPN to do that. Why wouldn't you want another? You're telling me you don't want more SEC football in primetime on ESPN and games of consequence? The hell you don't.
Yeah.
Is there anything better than a late November chilly night on ESPN and ABC and the SEC? There really isn't. Not in college football in this country.
Nope.
Right? If you're going to have Oklahoma play Alabama, well, right now, not. I mean, you know.
Roll Tide!
Yeah, fucking. If you,
Nick
I mean,
Saban is a better man than you are.
how is football? Let me get this right. Your 3-time national champion women's softball team at Oklahoma, and then there's Brett Venables.
No.
Like, what? Like it's so in the mullet. Like there are people who are saying in Stillwater, well, the mullet just doesn't embrace NIL in the
Because
transfer
it's
portal.
garbage.
Okay, well then fire his ass because that's the only way you're going to win in college football,
Facts.
right?
Facts.
But my point is, I don't think that there's another option out there.
Yeah.
So I don't see that coming. Jim Choi, isn't it better for ESPN if the PAC schools move to the Big 12 conference they got Tier 1 on? Well, I think it is. And again, we've talked about this for months.
That was the OG plan, bro.
Yeah, we started talking about this in November. It's the first time I heard it, I believe.
Yeah.
Right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
ESPN was no longer, and I think this started in September, October. ESPN and Fox encouraged the Pac-12 and the Big 12 to have merger talks.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pac-12 said, no, we're not interested in that. Let's make a new TV deal. To which ESPN said, nah, I'm good, dude. I'm good. And you wind up making a new deal with the Big 12. And you get into this situation where ESPN just stopped.
Yeah.
They stopped. Now, they're not actively, they have never, in my opinion, and from the sources that I speak to, ESPN has never, and I've never been told that they've acted to damage the Pac-12. That they've said, we're going to fucking kill the Pac. ESPN's never said that.
Yeah.
But they've also never actively worked to save it. And that's a significant difference.
Yes.
You're like, well, that's the same thing, bro.
I'm
No,
going to
it's
say
not.
this again.
Because ESPN could squeeze the life out of the Pac-12 if they wanted to.
Yes.
And they haven't done that. But they also have not actively worked to find a solution for, I don't know, Pac-12 expansion. If they wanted the Pac-12 to survive, hey, yeah, let's do a deal. Why don't we bump San Diego State into that conference? Like they'd be doing what they did for the Big 12, which is to say, allegedly, hey, why don't you guys, have you guys thought about doing a new TV deal early, 2 years early? Brett, nice to meet you. Jimmy Pitaro, have you thought about doing a new TV deal?
Gonzaga.
You know, I happen to work at ESPN. I could probably, like, that happened. Hey, have you guys thought about adding BYU in Houston? Because we're told that happened. ESPN moves shit around. And when ESPN says, hey, why don't you have you thought about buying a Pontiac instead of an Oldsmobile? You probably ought to buy the Pontiac. Because what ESPN wants, that's an old car reference.
Right. That's before my time. I get it. Yeah.
What ESPN wants, ESPN gets. And when ESPN told the Pac-12 and the Big 12 to have merger talks, the Big 12 said, sure. The Pac-12 said, nah. So who got left on the outside? People are like, oh, it was just, it's the calendar turning in this fucking economy. And no, it wasn't. The Pac-12 didn't want to play ball with the power makers in college football.
Look at me.
So the SEC got a really nice deal. And a deal that was really nice for ESPN and ABC.
Roll Tide!
Right? Nice deal. $50 million a year. Big Ten? How'd that deal work out? $100 million a year. Brett Yormark and the Big 12? $32 million a year. That now looks like it's going to be $50, $60 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
They all played ball with ESPN. They all played ball with Fox and CBS. And what did the Pac-12 do? The Pac-12 overvalued themselves. They refused to play ball with ESPN. They refused to play ball with Fox. And now they need ESPN and Fox, but they don't have a relationship with them. So now they're kind of in no man's land.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're talking to, oh man, I called the guy at the CW, boss. He just won't call me back. That's where they're at. And so when we talk about, hey, what are the real options? The real options ended in September, October when you refused to talk to ESPN and work with the power brokers in college sports.
Yep.
Which you can't do.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be... You essentially put yourself as the odd man out.
You did.
And I think that,
Not even the odd man out. You know what you did? You put yourself in that position where people aren't like, yeah, Kliavkoff's such an asshole. I'm not helping him. But what you did do is you're like, oh, that's right. The Pac-12's still out there.
I don't give a baker's fuck.
I wonder who they're talking to. Yeah, I don't know. What do we have for lunch, man? Like, that's where, right? That's where you're at in the Pac-12. It's
the arrogance got him. The arrogance got him.
I wonder what hey, we're playing golf today. Why doesn't somebody call? I wonder if Yormark wants to play golf today.
Cow turd.
Sankey's in, right? We need a fourth. Shit. Why don't somebody call Tim Cook at Apple? He'll be our fourth. Can't think of anybody else.
What about Kevin Warren, bro?
Yeah, he's busy with the Bears, dude.
Yeah. Shoveling piles of crap.
I can't think of it. Jimmy Pitar. Well, no, he's busy too. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Like you just never think of the Pac-12. You never think of it. Well, yeah, funny thing is, I talked to Mark the other day. He said he's sending over the paperwork. We're good, boys.
Gonzaga.
Right? Like, that's what it feels like.
Oh, I know. Dion.
Oh, yeah, Coach Prime.
Dude,
Coach
Dion.
Prime. How about Coach Prime going on Instagram the other day and being like, hey, man, does anybody have one of those zero-turn? He's literally on his Coach Prime on Instagram. It's like, hey, can somebody drop Coach Prime? Of course, he's talking about himself.
In the third person.
Hey, can anybody go? Coach Prime likes to cut his own grass.
Hey, guys.
I enjoy cutting my own grass, but Coach Prime needs a zero-turn mower.
Mm-hmm.
He literally says, can somebody drop off a zero-turn mower?
Yeah.
Hey, man, if you're Coach Prime and it's Louis, you would do it. Jackson Graham.
Bro, where the
Graham.
hell have you been, dude?
Where have you been?
Yeah, bro.
He says, Jake and Monty, I miss y'all. Miss you too, buddy. Weefy. I don't know why is your name, and is that I don't know what you're at. Okay, cool, bro. Sankey is a shark and will take your money like Billy Waters. Yeah. Why wouldn't he? Tom Dean says, blew off my $5 super chat.
What are you talking about, bro?
Okay. Okay, is everybody ready?
Here we go.
All right, sit up in my chair here. Everybody, join me. Breathe in, okay? Hold. Wait, no, not yet. You got to put your hands out in front of you like that, right there, like this, like 2 fingers onto your thumbs.
Proper technique here,
right? Breathe in. Okay, who's ready for the Tom Dean $5 super chat on this bitch? Who's ready?
Okay.
Very serious. I'm ready, right?
Stay hard.
Well, it's Tom Dean and it's $5. It's a super chat. It's good, Tom. The big CBS, NBC, Fox, the Big 12, ESPN, and Fox. If the PAC schools leave the Big and Big 12, help those networks, what linear network could benefit from the PAC schools staying?
No.
Man, why didn't we think of this question?
When is parade? When is parade?
When is parade? I don't know, Nicola. Why didn't... You're pissed we blew off a $5 super chat, as you should be. I appreciate you.
I love you, bro.
I appreciate
love you, dude. I really
giving
do.
us $5. Yeah. I thank you for that. I believe we've answered this already. Truck Stop Gumby says, "Pull it out, Jakey 2 holes." You know.
Wow.
You got your super chats are super important.
We just got lost in the take. That's all. It's not that
we got lost in the take, bruh.
Yeah.
We got 6 new members today.
Bro, you're slacking now.
Okay. Taylor Gilstrap gifted a new membership.
Gilstrap. Don't call him Taylor. It's just Gilstrap.
Yeah, Gilstrap.
Yeah.
Hey, where the fuck is Gilstrap?
Yeah.
Get him over here. Hey, Gilstrap, let's go. It happens. He gave us 5 memberships and then a single and then another.
Okay.
We all Gilstrapping.
Yeah.
And then Aaron Wilson gives a membership. How very Gilstrap of you, Aaron Wilson. We appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Strap it up.
Yeah. Gilstrap in the Gilstrap in the house, yo.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Back to serious. No fun.
Stop having fun.
Yeah.
Larry Pilgrim. Remember the Progressive commercial? Almost got it. Fisherman Skip. That was Oregon in the Big Ten played.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I don't think that's over. I don't think that's over at all. I don't. Adam Solomine says, thanks, AA Ron. Adam picked up the membership from man, very good. Truck Stop Gumby claps. Nick Roten. If Gonzaga is a non-football school, they can add them alone, right? They can.
Gonzaga.
Because you can't just add one football school plus Gonzaga, then it's an odd number of football schools. I mean, ideally, the way that football works, you'd like to be balanced. No doubt about that. Aaron Wilson says, I'm Gil strapped up. Strapped up, right? Strapped up. It's all good. Oh, let me check. Did Tom Dean give us 5? He didn't yet. Ooh, okay, good. Whew, can't miss those Tom Dean $5 bombs.
Sorry if you're offended by that.
Right? Tom's always got a good sense of humor about it, which I appreciate. NIL is a huge problem right now. Wait until you read the text and the stipulations in some of the latest NIL legislation that is being proposed at the state and federal level, which I think is an absolute travesty. We'll do that after we tell you about Papa Murphy's Calzones.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do calzones.
Papa Murphy's does calzones?
Oh, I think you mean I do the calzones.
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with fresh ingredients and hand-shredded cheese tucked in a scratch-made dough.
That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
Hey, don't forget the calzones.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Papa Murphy's Pizza. Make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase at $25 or more. Jake and I both have the calzones, and they are amazing. The calzones and the marinara meatball combination is redonkulous. It is it is everything that you want as an adult. I'm just telling you, knock it down.
Yeah.
Papa Murphy's Pizza, the official pizza of the Monty Show. Right after you hit the like button, please. We're at 2,000 views today and only 114 likes. Do better. Do better. Let's go. All right, let's talk NIL on the Monty Show because, in all seriousness, do you guys believe that NIL is good or bad for college athletics? Because my feeling is, and I could be wrong, I think NIL as an idea was very good for college athletics. Hey, let the kid make money on his name and performance because the image and likeness, BS, whatever. He's a really good footballer, basketball, or softball, or baseball player. Let that athlete make money on that. Okay, great. And that's where it should stop. This wild, wild west stuff, okay, cool. It is what it is. But what we've done now is we have vilified the kids for making more money than these schools, the NCAA, and apparently congressmen and senators would like. Because there is terrifying legislation going through the Congress in Washington, it's at the committee level, and state houses in Florida, trying to limit the ability of kids to make money and putting horrendous stipulations on their ability to be healthy after they are done playing sports. Case in point. You look at this from Florida Congressman Gus Bilaracki, who says it protects the rights of the student athlete to earn compensation and sign agents to profit for their name, image, and likeness. This does not do that. This does not do that in any way, shape, or form, because the very next point is ban pay-for-play, prohibiting boosters, collectives, and third parties from offering inducements to attend or transfer to specific institutions or to perform specific in-competition actions or promotions. So you're saying that transfer portal offers and, hey, come play at Oregon instead of going to Alabama, yeah, can't do that. Kind of like we do for coaches, right? It's banned for coaches to do that. No, it's not. Require transparency and registration for agents, boosters, collective, and third-party licensees when NIL deals are signed to ensure disclosure on the type of deal signed, the amount of money involved, and actual activities performed because of an NIL agreement. So you want to know how much and from whom and to what player that money is being paid.
That's right, T.
Why? Why do you need to know that? Why do we not know every penny of an athletic budget then? Why do we have to fight tooth and nail to get Freedom of Information Acts? Why don't we just publish all that stuff online? Every NCAA college program should have to publish their salaries, including presidents, everybody. Oh, we want to make that information hard to get. That's right, because that could cause problems. And then in enforcing NIL agreements, this U.S. Intercollegiate Athletic Commission will refer enforcement action to existing agencies and state attorneys general for agent and third parties and the NCAA for students. So let's make sure we have a way to punish people who go outside of our rules. That's at the state level in Florida. But it gets much worse with Joe Manchin in Washington, who I would take you to the third dot here. And the last sentence of the third dot: long-term medical expenses until an athlete reaches 28 years old or 8 years after the date of which eligibility expires. Parentheses. The student must have graduated to be eligible for such medical coverage. To which, I say, just go ahead and fuck all the way off. So let me get this right. Urban Meyer, I'll use this example, notorious for cutting kids because he just didn't like their haircut. So let me get this right. I hurt my knee. You don't like my haircut. You cut me. Or find a reason to pull my scholarship, but now I can't get medical care because I haven't graduated. And I don't have the money to stay in college, so I can't graduate, and now I've got a bum knee that I'm responsible for caring for the next however many years.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's real world in college athletics.
You're so fucked.
Shoulders, ankles, knees, not just football players, baseball players, softball players, lacrosse players.
Hockey players.
Brain injuries. Hey, I got a really bad concussion. Yeah, we're going to have to take your scholarship and give it to somebody else because you failed out of school. Well, coach, it's because, I have a terrible concussion. I can't process education right. Yeah, you passed all the tests. That happens all the time. So now we're putting the kid in a position where if you don't graduate, we're not going to give you long-term health benefits, which, by the way, in this country, we don't give a shit about people's health care because we don't provide health benefits. But now we're going to punish a kid because Joe Manchin said to? This is one of the most ridiculous bills I've ever seen. It's terrible. Prohibits an athlete from striking an NIL deal until they've completed it one semester of college. Who the fuck are you to tell me that I can't make money until I've completed a semester of college? Like, who are you to tell me that I can't earn money?
Who does that?
Like, it's the United States of America where, oh, hey, it's a democracy and we're able to make money whenever we want, unless you haven't gone to college first. Yeah. Sorry, high school kid, Bronny James, who's making $7 million a year. Yeah, we can't have you doing that.
U.S. Americans.
That's what this is. That's what this is. This is keeping the control of the money in the college and, these oversight bodies. We're trying to protect the student athlete. Then why are you reaching into their pocket? Why? You're talking about the fact that NIL is the Wild West. What does this have to do with kids earning money and their ability to collect health benefits when they have long-term injuries? What does that have to do with regulating agents? And what does that have to do with the wild, wild west of transfer portal and NIL? And by the way, who are you to tell me I can transfer or can't transfer? Then the coach has to sit out his entire contract when he takes a new gig, right? Like, you can take a new job as long as you're out of contract, right? We're going to put that in here as well. That's correct, right? Because they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
This is all designed to take the power from the athlete and give it back to the NCAA.
Yep.
That's what this is. And I don't see any other way that you can spin this shit. Because, and if I'm wrong, please feel free to tell me that.
Well, and I think the core of it, like at its very center, is it's convenient capitalism. It's oh yeah, we live in a capitalist country. Everybody has the same chance to make money, and if you work hard, the American dream. It's like, well, actually, hey, we're going to legislate that you really got to check all these conditions and make sure you're in the right, place before you can actually realize that money. And that's what I have an issue with. Like, it almost feels like you're upset that you're not a D1, wide receiver who can run a 4.3 and has great hands. And so because you're not that, you're going to write a piece of legislature that, basically makes it so you have access to the money. That's what I have an issue with.
It's incredible to me that this is the people who represent us in Congress.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
Creates a centralized trust to support travel for athletes' families, covered out-of-pocket medical expenses. The trust is funded from, quote, any revenue-generating college-level tournament or playoff, such as the college football playoff, long-term medical expenses. And this is the thing that kills me. Oh, we have to pay for it? Oh, we got to put heavy stipulations on it. So let me get this right. The only positive part of this shit is that you created a fund out of revenue generated from things like the NCAA tournament or the college football playoff, but a kid has to graduate to access those funds. Which is amazing to me. It is unbelievable to me that at the state and federal level, these bills have almost the same language. Almost the exact same language.
Yeah.
It is, why can't, if this is what you want to do, why can't we put these same stipulations on the people writing the bills and on the administrators at the schools?
Yeah, like Kirk Schultz.
Why can't we do that? Oh, they're private institutions. Oh, that's right. But the kid, fuck the kid. Like, I mean, who cares? Like the student. I mean, we got to know.
Never mind, you wouldn't make the money without the kid.
Yeah,
but,
we got to know. We got to, because they need their education. So wait, when did the NCAA? So the NCAA, you're telling me, is only in place to make sure the kids get educated, right? That's what the NCAA is for. Oh no, it's not. That's right. It's a non-profit, for-profit organization. Like you really truly believe, because this is what Joe Manchin's talking about.
Yeah,
Joe Manchin's saying, well, we've got to get back to a place where we're teaching kids how to clean coal with a brush and a hose. Right? We've never been there, sir. We've never had kids who go to college and just, they tripped and fell on the football field, and it turns out they really know how to run fast. I got news for you. Forrest Gump was a script. When he was running away from the bullies and ran down the field with Bear Bryant and that was a Hollywood movie, sir.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen, right? Especially when 99% of kids who play college basketball that are worth a damn are 1 year and then they're gone.
Yep.
They're gone. There's a kid yesterday who pulled out of Wake Forest and signed a professional deal in Australia. How are you going to reach into his pocket? Because I'm sure you're trying.
Yeah, you're not going to.
It is amazing to me. It is amazing to me that People are okay with this.
Yeah, and then we're going to be surprised when, the ratings for, the tournament or the ratings for this or that in college athletics are way down because kids don't want to be a part of this.
I'm telling you, we cannot do this.
We're in a control position.
We cannot do this. This is so anti-American. It is the rich guy trying to get richer to keep the poor guy from making any money because the poor guy can't be rich because he's not nearly as good as we are.
Well, and the poor guy can't do anything about it.
Like that's what amazes me. And the thing, and I think Ross Dellinger may have tweeted about this. I don't remember who it was, but I think it's a really good point. This is a bunch of rich dudes trying to make sure that these athletes, and they're targeting the top 1% of NIL earners and punishing the other 99% in the process, number one. Number two, they're trying to make sure that the kid that's going to go get paid $25, $30, $45 million in the NBA or in the NFL or in Major League Baseball, that we push that off as long as we possibly can, keep as much money as we can, and make sure that they wait until they get their college education.
Facts.
Incentivize them to get their college education. Nobody's incentivized to get a college education because it's too fucking expensive. And if you don't give me a scholarship, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, if I couldn't play football, basketball, lacrosse, I wouldn't be here anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the reality of kids in America. Look at the numbers. There's not a bunch of people just champing at the bit to get into college. It's not the way the country works anymore. But these rich guys are worried that they're not going to be quite as rich if the little poor guy comes in and makes a bunch of money on NIL.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't want to ruin the money tree that's growing on the football field. Wouldn't want to lose any of that money. So, let's write some legislation here. And by the way, the other thing that this should reinforce to you for all those people who are hating on us, I think it was last week we talked about this. The guys who run the NCAA and politicians are hand in hand. Two peas in a pod.
The biggest, because again, what happens with this legislation if it passes? Look at Joe Manchin.
Yeah.
Who wins by Joe Manchin's bill? Well, that'd be the University of West Virginia, where Joe Manchin's from.
That same university that has, by all accounts, a G5 caliber roster right now in football.
Yeah, an embarrassingly bad football program.
Embarrassingly bad football program right now.
It's crazy to me.
But yeah, let's write legislation that makes it so NIL, is even tougher for the kid.
I cannot. I can.
By the way, Dion might want to win some games this year with all the NIL and transfer portal you've done.
It's frustrating. Bryce Martin. So Bronny can't make money at USC, can make thousands off of ticket sales. Coaches get jobs based on his success, and the school can tout him around making millions off the fact he put on that jersey.
That's correct.
Correct.
Yep. That's correct.
Lower Marion.
Yep.
Makes money today on Kobe Bryant's jersey.
Yep.
It's crazy to me. It is just crazy to me.
And hey, if you're a kid, like if you're a Kobe level or if you're Bronny right now, maybe you just accept that. Hey, I'm one and done. I'm one and I'm gone. I just got to go out here and dominate, and we're good to go.
Yeah. Tyler Dopp says, I tried to get buckshots, said they are out of stock.
Damn.
Tyler, explain that. They're currently out of stock, or are they out of?
Can't tell me they're out of stock online, dude.
No, come on. Are they really? I wouldn't be surprised. We have sold a ton of buckshot because it's just that good. Just that good. Immaculate. Why is it horrible things to have NIL contracts that entice a student athlete to actually finish their degree? Because
that's what I'm saying.
No. They're not trying to entice them to finish their degree. That's not what they're trying to get them to do. They're trying to entice them to give them the long-term health care they need because they got injured severely representing your university. Notice what the stipulation is tied to. Oh, you want long-term health care? Well, then you're going to have a degree.
Yeah, and I think what he's saying there is this legislature...
Why is it horrible to have NIL contracts that entice a student athlete to actually finish their degree? Because that's not what they're doing. That's not what... Where does it say, hey, we'll give you an NIL contract if you get a degree? We'll pay you more. That would be saying, hey, you know what... John's Honda dealer is going to give you $50,000 if you graduate with a 3.0 or higher. Or if you just get a degree. That's not what this is. What this is saying is the only way we'll give you long-term health care is if you stay at school long enough to get a degree. Because that's the reality, especially with a basketball player. That's the reality. Because if this kid stays 2 years, what are you saying the JUCO transfers? Because that's a huge deal in college athletics. Hey, you went to a junior college. Yeah, we're going to rip those credits. They don't transfer here. They don't translate to this great institution. We're going to need you to play 4 years here to get a degree. Oh, yeah, if you don't, we're not going to give you health insurance. Yeah, sorry. What do you say to a college basketball player? What do you say to a kid that blows out a knee? Danny Manning playing college basketball. What do you say to a kid who gets a broken leg, never plays college basketball again, and can't afford to continue his education? Like, where is that kid supposed to go?
You know.
Where is the kid who got it? Because this story's all over college sports. Got a massive NIL deal, but sucked actually and couldn't play. Just wasn't good enough to play college football. And can't afford to pay for his education. But he came to your school. You're going to give him a 4-year ride? You should, right? Oh, we can't do that. Sorry. That would be enticing them. Hey, yeah, we're going to give you a scholarship for your entire, like any college you want to attend. If you go to Notre Dame, if you want to get a triple master's degree, we're going to pay for all of it. No matter what. Play football, don't play football, hurt, done for the year, career's over because you got a concussion. Doesn't matter, kid. You want to go to college, we're going to pay every penny of it. They don't do that. They don't do that. And by the way, if we're really getting down to brass tacks, it's the kid from the inner city. It's the kid from a poor background, from a poor home, who can't afford and doesn't have the economic advantages that modern-day quarterbacks have, or doesn't have the family support, or doesn't have the financial know-how, who doesn't know the repercussions of getting student loans. Because I've heard that story repeatedly. Yeah, I lost my scholarship on the tennis team, had to get student loans, and now I'm $50,000 in debt. And I lost my scholarship because I tore my rotator cuff. And they pulled my scholarship. What do you say to that kid? Like, I understand this idea. And in my opinion, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong or not, but in my opinion, this idea that we're forcing kids to, you got to graduate. It's the only way you'll prosper. No, it's not. No, it's not. We have to stop attaching accomplishments in the classroom to the idea that that's the only way you're going to make it in life, because that's total bullshit. One is not mutually exclusive of the other.
Congratulations, but that's bullshit.
It's not the truth. And we have to stop. We have to stop playing Russian roulette with people's health care. We need to stop doing that, because we refuse. Hey, if you want health care, you got to get a job. Why? I'm sick. I can't work, man. Look at all these people who are like, hey, I have long-term COVID, still can't smell or taste anything. Well, that's because of the vaccine. It's got nothing to do with the
coronavirus.
I can't, we want people to fall into these little boxes, or we won't give them the basic human need. And that's what these kids in college are dealing with. They have every right to make as much as Kurt Schultz or Cossey or Robbins or Randall or any other president. In fact, they have the right to make as much as they can, and a lot of times it's more. But we don't like that, so we take their opportunity away and we take their money away. And I'm tired of it. It's wrong. It's not the right thing to do. And then to attach their long-term health benefits to it, fuck out of here with that. Like, it's just
trying
so
to control
wrong.
Their little worlds.
It is so wrong.
Yeah.
Let's see. Maury Alvarez says full coverage insurance should be given to all athletes in long-term care if you get hurt during preparation or participation in the sport that they are playing. Do you guys understand how many injuries happen in the weight room? Do you understand? Like, I agree with that. Our favorite Floridian, Maury Alvarez, says, whoa, wait, did we talk about Monty being out of uniform today? No black shirt?
We have not talked about that yet.
We did. We talked about it.
No, we didn't.
We did.
No.
Moth Prof. College is to make people who are rich even richer. That's my BBA. That's what my BBA taught me. Well, your BBA wasn't
I've
wrong.
been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time.
Me too. Coaches want to return to being czars. They do. You know how many coaches, we talked about this with Mike Gundy in Oklahoma State a few minutes ago. He didn't want anything to do with the transfer portal or NIL.
I'm a man.
Nick Saban doesn't want anything to do with transfer portal or the NIL because he's a better man than you are.
Nick Saban is a better man than you are.
Right? He just wants you to come play football because it's Bama, roll tide.
Roll tide.
That's what he wants. Bryce already read that one. Ron Loney says big government at its finest. Seriously.
Facts.
Seriously.
Facts.
Don't get me started. Immaculate. That centralized trust stipulation could actually push the Power Five to truly leave the NCAA instead of just sitting tight with their autonomy. I'm telling you. You are not. It's stuff like this, because I think the NCAA is teetering on the verge of extinction.
Agreed.
I truly do, because these colleges don't need the NCAA.
Yeah, and how desperate are you for money?
Alabama doesn't live and die with NCAA. Like, I would just be like, hey, and this is the grant of rights conversation. How much does Alabama, Notre Dame, the biggest institutions, how much does Ohio State really need their grant of rights to make $100 million?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say they don't need the grant of rights to make $100 million.
Are you telling me that Notre Dame, who has their own contract with NBC, they really need a conference to make $75 million? They don't.
I would argue they'd make more without the conference.
Well, I wouldn't argue with you. MJ Bissett gives us $10. Thank you, Monty, for bringing all this up. Even on my G5 schools, board of old farts are always mad at the players for making self-serving decisions, just like everyone profiting from college sports. And they won't talk about it.
That's what's incredible.
They won't talk. Well, what do you mean we're self-serving? We're trying to provide an education here. We're an institution of learning.
Don't lie to me.
But you won't talk about the fact that your biggest issue with NIL is the kid's now got the power because he's got the money. And in this country, money makes the world go round.
So wait, you're pissed that your institutional prowess no longer is why kids come to play for you.
But we were listening to Dark Knight, best lines from the Dark Knight today.
Yeah.
And the Joker says to the Chechen guy, whose name I don't know, but he says to the Chechen mobster, how about we cut your body up and feed you to your dogs? Then we'll see how loyal a hungry dog really is.
Where's the Italian?
Right? Like,
it's the truth.
Let's find out how loyal a rich kid really is when Alabama's paying more than Auburn.
Let's find out how loyal a D1 NFL caliber college receiver is.
When Deion's paying more at Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
And he got the number one recruit in the country to go there. And then the kid followed him to Colorado. Let's find out how hungry a rich kid really is and how loyal he really is when he's really hungry. Because there's nothing wrong. And I know I say this all the time, and every time people lose their minds when I say it. There's nothing wrong with being rich. There's nothing wrong with making money.
Facts.
There's nothing wrong than making more money than your neighbor. And then your neighbor across the street and your neighbor over there on the left too. Fuck them. Make as much money as you can. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. We've got to stop shaming people for making money. We've got to stop shaming people for being rich. We've got to stop shaming 20-year-old kids who are driving Corvettes and wearing Gucci because you think they ought to be wearing Under Armour because that's what your school's got a contract with.
It's Louis, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because they're Louis instead of Under Armour because guess what? They don't care because Louis paying them. So they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. Now, you want to talk about the Carter situation and the Track Hawk and the car dealership? Totally get it. And this was brought up today. That had nothing to do with NIL.
Nope.
That kid's decision to be racing around the streets of Athens and drinking and driving allegedly. And
yeah,
what did that have to do with NIL? Nothing.
It's not the best situation, and we all know that.
Nothing. It had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Shorts all year. Talking heads and lack of talent is all they have. I don't disagree with that. You know. Gary says, Monty, this is where the bill would be thrown out on the merits of universities making big bucks on these students that play sports. It should be. It should be. Dave Patrick, if you make 150% of the poverty, you get bronze level health insurance and it'll even pay your deductible. I don't know what that means. Tanner says, run, Forrest, run.
Mm-hmm.
Gary says, football players get a scholarship of $650 monthly. If lucky, how can our government come up with it? I don't know. I don't know. Pell Grants are not the way to make a living in college.
No.
Dude, there is not a college athlete. Note I didn't say football player. There's not a college athlete in this country that should be wondering, hey, do you think I'll get in trouble if I steal an extra chicken sandwich off the training table? That should never happen in this country.
It's embarrassing, dude.
Never.
It's embarrassing.
Stop. Immaculate, they don't mind when a kid creates an app and makes multi-millions. Well, I think they do mind, but you know. Travis Hinton, I am not okay with this. Government needs to GTFO on NIL deals.
Agreed.
These kids make the universities millions of dollars. Every time a university gets a big commit, they get a huge boost to sales. And they make TV money.
Stay hard.
That's what I mean. This has nothing to do with the kid. It's all about them wanting to control the money.
Yes,
That's
they want to
it.
keep as much money as they
could care less about the kid.
You know, let's see. Who else? And I know we have a lot of comments on this. Thank you for being here today. Fat Jesus, my guy. What's up, Fat Jesus? Talked about you Saturday. Some people don't like seeing kids of color make money. Truth.
Well,
Absolutely the truth.
Now we're getting real.
Is there any football news?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, dude.
Exactly what we're talking about. Big bad brass bulls. Giving a kid who's coming from a poverty background without teaching them how to handle instant wealth is like a lotto winner who blows all his money because he suddenly can get all he wants. Okay, great. So if you're telling me we need an NIL stipulation that says if a kid makes $100,000, put it whatever number you want. Kid makes $100,000 in an NIL deal, then he has to take an economics class. My answer would be, stay out of my pocket. It's none of your damn business.
Yeah, it's his right to blow the money if he wants to.
It's none of your business.
Yeah.
By the way, hey, man, your credit rating's 610. Yeah, you're going to have to take an economics class. Because that's what you're doing. You're saying to this kid, hey, you blew all this money. You're going to have to take an economics class. You're going to – here's an even – I know it's –
Careful.
Okay.
Careful.
Okay.
Can I get the hand position right on this one again?
I need to warn people.
Here we go.
You need to do the Zen breathing.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody breathes in. You got to breathe all the way out, too. Maybe, just maybe, we should teach economics, banking, credit cards, loans, interest rate impact, and how to build good credit in high school. Oh, I know.
Dude, how do you do?
Crazy.
Is it the shirt? Is it the shirt? Is that how you come up with ideas like this?
It's Louis. Well, it's actually.
Well, it's not Louis because we don't
Callaway.
teach economics and banking and stuff. It's taxes.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't teach you how to deal with the IRS properly.
If we taught kids how to use credit cards and how to understand, hey, here's where the interest. Do you know how many people get their first credit card and have no idea how the interest works? And we're going to be like, you're stupid.
Who the f*** is that guy?
So how would they know? What do you mean you don't know how to balance a checkbook? No, I said I don't know what a checkbook is. Oh, you're stupid. How would they know what a check? When's the last time?
You and your mom are hillbillies.
You know, I talked to my bank last night. True story. I was looking at my Apple Pay. I saw a bunch of charges in my bank account that I didn't understand. Connected to my debit card. I haven't used a debit card in 2-3 years. Like, it's been a long time. My debit card is locked in my safe. Like, I don't even carry it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably 99% of you who are like, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, we need to educate people on how to use money. I haven't written a check in. When's the last time you wrote a check, dude?
I've never written a check.
I can't remember the last.
Excellent strategy, sir.
I'll be honest with you. If we have a checkbook, I don't know where it is. I guarantee you Mrs. Monty knows where it is. I have no idea where our checkbook is.
Yeah.
But I know the date and time that my fucking interest kicks in on my Amex.
Yeah.
And I know exactly, like, hey, here's how my business is run. I use this card for all my business. I use this card for all my personal, and I never use my debit card.
How the fuck else would you do this job?
Why don't we teach 15-year-olds how to do that? That's what I don't understand. Why don't we teach kids how to leverage the finance system?
Because we don't want them to be successful.
That's right. We make employees. We don't make entrepreneurs. It's a big lie in this country that it's a home of the brave, land of the free. Bullshit. It's a home of the brave and the land of the employees. Because we don't teach people how to do something other than collect a paycheck. And this NIL thing is the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing, you guys. Like, they don't want people. Like, Pell Grants are a fucking scam. Do you understand how little money a Pell Grant pays you? Do you understand? You can't make a living on that. I in my college covering career of sports and athletics and jock straps and stuff, I have talked to so many kids. And I can tell you firsthand, I bought a guy lunch. I'm like, hey, knowing that a certain football player early in my career didn't have the money to go out to eat. Didn't have the money to go out to eat. That's what we're talking about here, you guys. Like, that's real in this country.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, they've changed you're going to hell. And it's an NCAA violation. Please self-report that you took an extra French fry off the training table.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
We in college athletics, in as little as 4 years ago, it was an NCAA violation to take extra food from the training table. Like the training table. You're provided food as a college athlete. If you took too much of it, it was considered an extra benefit at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So if let me get this right. You're giving us packaged lasagna. If I took 2 of those lasagnas, because it was explained to me that, hey, at one point, packaged lasagna, packaged salad, and this particular kid joked with me about, I took an extra lasagna. Who's going to turn me in for it?
Fat.
Like, that's the world we're living in.
It's crazy.
And we think that's fine. You misunderstood what I'm saying. Teach these athletes how to handle the instant wealth without making it a requirement in NIL. Ensure their future. I hope we do.
Yeah, well, that's what we should be doing. I mean,
but it's not the athlete. And this is the systematic flaw. It's not teaching the athlete. It's teaching every 7th grader how to write a check, or at this point, how to pay your bills online through Apple Pay and Android Pay. Hey, all I'm asking for, it would be a giant leap forward in this country if we taught kids how credit cards work. Here's how you get it. When you get a credit card, here's how it impacts your credit score. By the way, this is how they charge you interest.
Some shit happened.
Do you know that basic conversation does not happen in the American educational system? We're not allowed. Don't do that. Nope. And we banned the book in the library that taught them how to do that too, probably. But I understand your point, big bad brass balls. I do. Matt Ritson, I keep check lockbox when needed. Yeah. I have no idea if we have it. I don't know if we have a checkbook. Immaculate. Pell Grants used to work, but they didn't grow. They didn't grow in payout while college costs soared. I remember back at the old College of Lake County in good old Southern Illinois. Back when I was in college. I didn't qualify for a Pell Grant because I had a job that paid me. I had a radio job that paid me too much money.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't get a Pell Grant and I couldn't get financial aid. Wound up not playing baseball for that exact. All my buddies went to Illinois. A bunch of my buddies went to Augustana to play soccer. Could have gone to Augustana, man. Didn't do it. Geoff, what's up, my guy? I'm 34 and have never written a check.
Yeah.
I'm not dumb. I've just never had to do it, and I make more money than my friends who went to college, and I have zero debt. There are different ways to do things.
Absolutely.
If we taught kids what financial freedom of being debt, do you know how many 24-year-olds are not debt-free? Because we go to college and we instantly take out student loans that put us tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
It's not the best situation, and we all know that.
Trust me, being debt-free is the way to live your life. And I am very fortunate to be that. My sister told my mom once, read me this book. It was a VHS case. LOL, true story. Hysterical. The Kings always want to keep the gold. Truth. They don't want common man to exceed beyond marginally at best. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that's very true. Lopes fan Gabe, how the heck are you, my friend? Gives us $10. Did I miss a major announcement? Have we solved the rest of the world's problems and all there is left to do is go after college kids making a few bucks? Small government at its finest.
Well played, sir.
Right?
As usual, well played.
That's the crazy part of this whole thing. We're worried about NIL, but places like San Francisco and Philadelphia and Cleveland, Denver, 9 people got shot in a mass shooting last night celebrating the Denver Nuggets. And we're worried about, got to make sure these kids don't make too much money.
It's disappointing as hell.
I saw one person talking about, if he's making so much money on NIL, why don't we make him pay for tuition? Why? Why would we do that? Oh, because you want to hold him back and take money out of his pocket. That's right. I'm telling you now. And if there was a better way to the NFL than college,
well, that's why you're seeing it in basketball, right? I mean, why do you think San Diego State got to the national championship game, with all due respect? Oh, that's right. Because a lot of kids aren't going to college in basketball anymore.
They recruited.
I know. They recruited.
They developed their talent.
And because of that, they deserve the pro rata, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard anyone say. And I know, it's all good.
Yeah. Yes, Brady Cook. College is not always the answer. Fat Jesus says we're going to have to retire the phrase snapping necks and cashing checks. Yes. Matt Ritson didn't know Prime Amazon is credit cards. Exactly right. Geoff, Lopes for the win with that one. Exactly. Lopes fan Gabe never disappoints. Brandon Butler, who I met at the RSL match on Saturday. Good to see you, Brandon. Thanks for the scarves. It would also help if we educated students on how student loans actually work too. Kids are maxing loans, not realize the bill comes due when they graduate. I think that's exactly right. Exactly right. Pew pew. Exactly right. Ruff's official is here today. So you're saying millionaires should get free tuition?
Yeah, that's what we said.
Dude, why can you not just be conversational? Why do you want, Ruff's, you're so likes to fight guy. Tanner Plummer, I'm in college now. Financially, I've been fine, but the thing that has pissed me off is how the school I go to keeps changing the requirement to graduate. Well, San Diego State says there goes that slant again. Glenn, you have to admit, as a San Diego State guy, it's awkward when your president's like, we should get the pro rata that we deserve.
Like, what are you talking about,
that mean?
dude? What do you mean, dude?
I don't even hate San Diego State.
I don't either.
I'm actually a huge fan of San Diego, San Diegans, San Diego State,
La
San
Jolla.
Diego University, La Jolla.
Cafe Coyote.
The Honeys in Old Town. I'm a huge fan. I'm not a fan of J.D. Wicker pandering. Because now you begged your way into the Pac-12 that might not exist.
Nice job, dude.
That's my only criticism.
If I knew what I was going to fucking do, I'd have already done it.
And your third baseman in softball celebrates for farting while she's warming up.
When is parade?
Yeah, when's the parade?
When is parade?
That is Nikola Jokic saying, when is parade?
When is parade? When is parade?
I need to go home.
I need to go home.
When is parade?
No.
We're going to have to talk about that. Glenn says it's getting personal with you guys now, that basketball comment, but it's Glenn,
explain it.
How did San Diego State build their national championship game worthy basketball team? It's not like they recruited a bunch of high school kids and developed them and transfer portal, and there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that. How is that at all criticizing
Dude,
them?
the reality of the situation is the Blue Bloods are light on talent because everyone's chasing NIL money. That's the reality of it.
The reality is the North Carolina missed the tournament after winning the championship last year.
Like,
I don't think it's a slight on San Diego State at all.
I have no issue with San Diego State, dude. But if listen, Glenn, you can't turn a blind eye here, man. Your team has no business being in the national championship game of college basketball. And that's not outlandish to say. Now,
at least not until now.
Like, again, once every how long? And I'm telling you, I would love it if it was, hey, we developed a program and everything's amazing. It's not like you had anybody's best player. You had a team of gritty-ass guys who got after it and played real physical basketball at the college level. I respect that. In fact, I was rooting for them. I was rooting for them. I don't want to see UConn win anything. I'm not a UConn guy, dude. Like, how many times is, Gino going to win another championship, bro? Like, how many times is UConn's men's basketball going to be good, right? Like, they're always good. Cool. I didn't want to see them win anything, but there's no getting around the idea that NIL and the transfer portal makes it difficult to keep talent. You are going to have to pay to have a great roster now. It's no longer, hey, it's John Calipari at Kentucky, right? It's Coach K at Duke. It's Roy Williams at UNC. Those days are over, bro. It's about cash and checks, as the joke is going on in the comments. That's what it's about. So it's not personal when I say, hey, you had no business being in the national championship game, in my opinion. It's the reality of college basketball.
Yeah, and I think when you look at a guy like Zuby Ejiofor, who's visiting you from Kansas, that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a slight. It's Glenn, the only thing that bothers me about San Diego State is J.D. Wicker with that comment to Seth Davis and your president saying that, like, you deserve a pro rata. Like, what pro rata, and what do you mean you deserve the pro rata?
Yeah.
Like, you have not been a relevant's a strong word. You have not been a nationally competitive football program on a regular basis, probably ever in the modern era of college football. Right? You're not. And I jokingly said it was a baseball school. San Diego State has a good athletic program.
Yeah.
They do. It's not like it's not. I just don't understand why. Why is it taboo to say, hey, you built your basketball team on the transfer portal? Kentucky, North Carolina, like, look at Arizona State. Bobby Hurley. Do you guys understand that Bobby Hurley a year ago had one player on his roster? I said he had one player on the roster under scholarship. One player last year. Everybody else transferred. That's the reality of college athletics, and specifically basketball. In my opinion, it's the great leveling of the playing field.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody like San Diego State, who's not known as a basketball school, goes to the national championship game. And by the way, think about the financial impact that had on the Mountain West Conference. Huge.
Yeah. So just 1 year out of the blue,
huge.
You happen to go to the national championship game. Don't tell me.
Huge.
Don't cry me a river about, oh, well, you guys are making it personal with San Diego State. No, I'm not making it personal with San Diego State. I'm making it personal with the idea that San Diego State goes to one national championship game after building the roster through the transfer portal. And my take is that you're not a basketball school. You're a football school, if anything. That's what I feel like you've been known for before this amazing run in basketball that you had. So don't come in here and tell me that I'm making it personal with San Diego State. I'm saying, hey, NIL combined with the transfer portal in basketball has made it so programs like San Diego State can get to the national championship game once in a while. And
look at a guy like Darian Trammell.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go to the NCAA tournament without him? Well, you probably don't. Do you damn near win the national championship without him? Well, you don't. And he's a guy who's a senior who transferred into San Diego State for last season. One of your most important players.
Yeah.
Why? That's not even taboo, guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're defending our take on San Diego State.
Because people get all shitty about it when you say things like, hey, they had no business being in the national championship game. Yeah. They don't they don't have any business being in the national championship game of college basketball. And that's why they haven't been. That's why it's once in a while, once every, I don't know, lately, like in modern history, once every 10 years.
Yeah.
Like,
you're I think the Keshad Johnsons of the world, or like your player that's a fourth year senior who's been there, that's so rare.
Yeah.
And that's what you want, because that's called playing the system.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an insult at all. Anyway, we should probably,
I just would love for someone like Glenn, and Glenn, I'm not trying to make it personal with you, but I would love for you to come to the middle.
Kyle J says Jake hates everything. It's okay. San Diego State. Do you hate everything?
I don't hate everything, but I'm not giving San Diego State a free pass. Okay. I'm not. And it's okay. What we should be talking about, Glenn, is we should be talking about the fact that, hey, yeah, you know what? We didn't have a chance at the national championship game in college basketball, but because of NIL and the transfer portal, we were able to leverage that, and we got there. And that's a great thing.
I think that's not what we should be talking about. We should be talking about TryDayTrading.com/Monty, because that's how you make the most money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Come on, that was amazing.
It was good.
TryDayTrading.com. I'm telling you guys, it is the best side hustle. I was talking to a guy last night on DM. I don't know if I should say people's names that I was talking to, but he was telling me, hey, I started doing Amazon FBA because you guys told me it was great. And he's losing like $70 a month.
Oh, what are you talking about, man?
Which, I don't know why you would keep doing that side hustle, because I think Amazon FBA is the perfect example of a side hustle where somebody else controls your income.
Mm-hmm.
Because Amazon changes fees and price points, and you have to qualify for categories, and it's a pain in the ass. Do the easy route. Take the easy route. TryDayTrading.com. And when you think about what Tri-Day Trading is, TryDayTrading.com is anything you want it to be, because you work for yourself. So you can do it full-time. Okay, quit your job. Hate your boss, tired of going into work? Quit your job. TryDayTrading.com. Work from home, work for yourself. You love your job, but you'd like to make more money. TryDayTrading.com. Do it as a side hustle. Make sure, hey, you get up first thing in the morning and spend an hour working on your day trades, setting up your system, and great. You're going to make hundreds of dollars a day doing that. People routinely make hundreds of dollars a day at TryDayTrading.com because they went through their program. And now the best part is you can automate your trades. And they teach you how with their proprietary systems and their proprietary algorithms. And by the way, the best part of it is you can try this out for $10. 30-day membership. That's all we're asking you to do. Don't take my word for it. And I always tell you this. Try it out for $10. It's a charitable donation that you can use as a tax write-off. You do a $10 30-day membership, and you get everything. Full coaching, full education, all of it. 30-day membership. Try it out right now. And if you're not happy with it, you don't continue. And you still get the tax write-off. But what you're going to find, just like everybody else, when you go into the TryDayTrading.com system, you're going to love it. You're going to make thousands of dollars a day doing it full-time. You're going to make hundreds of dollars a day doing it part-time. And you can stop being pissed at your boss. You can stop hating on your neighbor because they went on vacation and you didn't. Live the life you've always wanted to live by going to TryDayTrading.com. San Diego State says, Jake, stop it. Connor Tulin says, sup, Monty. Hi, Connor. Tanner says, LOL, truck stop Monty would rather chop off his right arm than give anything Star Wars character.
I am your father.
Truck stop Gumby says, Monty, give his black shirt to Baby Yoda. Probably could have. Adam Solomon, out of the Big 12 and Pac-12, only Kansas Tech and Baylor have done what San Diego State has since 2010. Multiple Sweet 16s, multiple 30-win seasons, and an appearance in the championship. Okay, but you really want to compare? Why are we doing this? You really think it's fair to compare San Diego State in the Mountain West to Kansas, Texas Tech, and Baylor? So Kansas or North Carolina 2 years ago, Baylor, you really think that's a comparable pass to going through the Mountain West to what they had to go through in the ACC or the Big 12, which is inarguably the best conference in the country? They're not apples to apples comparison. What San Diego State did was nothing short of legendary. Nothing short of legendary. Now you need to do it all over again. And you're not going to be a fly under the radar. You're not going to be a secret anymore. Now everybody understands your offense. Everybody understands your system. Everybody understands your tendencies. Now we figure out who you really are. And hopefully San Diego State evolves and they actually win a championship, because that would be a phenomenal finish for a great college. San Diego State's a lovely university. We have family and friends by the tons who have graduated there. Great. It's not a slight in any way, shape, or form. You know, like it just isn't. You know, it is what it is. Let's see. Tom Dean. Question: should San Diego State get a full pro rata? Just looking for an answer to an answer I haven't heard from you yet. But I wish we could delete the term pro rata, bro. Pro rata. Do you guys understand that pro ratas are not readily available?
I would love for someone to make the case as to why a G5 of any variety, San Diego State or otherwise, deserves a pro rata.
Do you understand what a pro rata is? A pro rata essentially means ESPN or Fox is going to pay a full share for San Diego State, in this case, to join your conference in the Pac-12. So, and again, here's my issue with what was said at San Diego State by San Diego State. Because I don't understand the logic in it. And if you do, please help me. You have the president saying, she said straight up that the Pac-12 is her first choice, and she's confident that George Kliavkoff is going to get a TV distribution deal that will allow the Pac-12 to pay San Diego State the pro rata they deserve. Well, first of all, don't you have to get a TV deal that includes a pro rata first? All of a sudden, everybody and their brother thinks, well, shit, pro rata, that's in every deal. It's in one deal. One deal. The Big 12's deal. One deal. And by the way, it's not the entire deal. It's only ESPN's part of the deal. So it's not something that is even normal to have that kind of language in a contract. It's not like way out of left field, but it's not boilerplate language.
Yeah.
So this idea that San Diego State, A, thinks that a pro rata is in every contract, it's not. But B, here's an interesting question for you. If you're ESPN, and let's just use ESPN as an example, anybody you want to point to, you do a deal with the Pac-12. Why would you pay, and let's say it's $32 million. What has San Diego State done to earn $32 million a year? Basketball ain't bringing that, because football is king. And I'm just asking, looking at San Diego State's football numbers, somebody explain to me, what is it that San Diego State has done that says to you, well, man, we better pay them $32 million or we're screwed? That's the simple question that San Diego State, and Glenn and I know 20 other San Diego State people who are crawling up my ass because I said there's nobody bending over backwards to pay San Diego State $31.7 million to join the Big 12.
Facts.
Because their value is to the Pac-12. Because the Pac-12 has nothing south of Berkeley.
Otherwise known as they have a need.
Their value, San Diego State's value, is not reach. It's not fourth time zone to the Big 12. Their value to the Big 12, frankly, is to cripple the Pac-12. That's your best value proposition, right? Because and this is the other question, do you believe that San Diego State joins the Big 12 and goes back to the NCAA tournament?
Is that a real question?
Serious question. You put San Diego State basketball in the Big 12. Do they go to the NCAA tournament? The answer is no. They do not.
But all the appearances.
Now, next year, the second year, sure, because now you can transfer portal and you can operate. But they're not Gonzaga, who you can put in any conference, and because they recruit at an exceptionally high level, because they've won and won and won, and all they do is win, I can put them in the Big 12, and they will compete. They will go to the NCAA tournament their first year. But if we're talking about football, dudes, do you want to have a conversation about year-over-year records? And I don't think you do, dude. I don't think you do, because if you look at Ted Tollner, like Rocky Long, like, I mean, you've had a pretty mediocre run in football, right? And Brady's done a decent job, right? You lost to Middle Tennessee in the Hawaii Bowl. You won the Frisco Bowl. You won the New Mexico Bowl. But when's the last time you had a major bowl? The Las Vegas Bowl in 2016 against Houston, you won 34-10. Okay, but the Poinsettia Bowl in 2012 against BYU or Navy in 2010, like you're not a major college football program.
Yeah.
And if you join the Big 12, do you make the NCAA tournament? So why am I going to pay you $32 million right out of the gate?
It's a great question, man.
Help me.
Yeah.
Help me understand.
Said it better myself.
Jimmy Otson says, it's funny that Monty and Jake are having the same conversations at chat, but saying the opposite things. Okay, well, who wants to stand up? Glenn, you want to stand up and defend San Diego State? Let's do it. I'm happy to do it, man.
That's the purpose of the show.
I'm happy to do it, right? Like I'm all about it. The question that I have is, if we're going to argue about San Diego State, let's fucking argue about it. What is the real value of San Diego State to the Big 12? Because frankly, I have talked to 1,000,001 sources about this, and nobody's that excited to add San Diego State to the Big 12. Everybody in the Pac-12 views San Diego State as a must-have. As a must-have. Because you've lost Southern California to USC and UCLA and the Big Ten. You got to have it, because Southern California Toyota dealers have nowhere to spend their Pac-12 money. So they won't. They'll spend it in the Big Ten instead of spending it with you, which is a huge problem. So from that standpoint alone, I don't care if San Diego State wins another game. There's real legitimate value in that. But if you're Oregon, and let's pretend, again, Pac-12 gets a TV deal.
Yeah.
It's $32 million. Okay? And you're Oregon. How much of that $32 million are you willing to allocate to San Diego State? Year one, new member. Because, again, I know I'm dumb and I don't know shit about San Diego State. You can say that you get the pro rata you deserve, but how much of that money should we actually pay San Diego State? Because I'm telling you, a penny over $20 million is ridiculous.
Which I think is another concept that nobody understands. Just because every school from the TV side is getting $32 million, let's say, doesn't mean that once that money comes through the conference that every school is getting $32 million.
See, here's another question I have. San Diego State. Adam says San Diego State brings Southern California recruiting to the Big 12. Pacific time zone, San Diego OC market. I would disagree with that. Because, legitimate question, if you bring San Diego State into the Big 12, Again, how much? Pro rata, bro. ESPN won't pay a full share for San Diego State. They're a G5 team. Number one. Number two, do you really think that if you are the starting quarterback at Mater Dei and you are capable of playing in the Big 12, or you're in Chula Vista or any high school you want to point to in Southern California, specifically San Diego, do you really think that you're going to be like, well, shit, I can play in the Big 12? Why wouldn't you just play in the Big 10 at UCLA and USC? Especially if you're at Mater Dei, you're going to USC anyway. So if you're at, I don't know, pick your school, your power football program in Westlake or Lake Forest or Capo or whoever. Let's talk baseball. You're the best starting pitcher at San Juan Capistrano or Huntington Beach High School or the best school in San Diego. Okay, I can see San Diego State, which is a phenomenal baseball school. I mean, fantastic. I can see you winning that battle. But if you're in Los Angeles, or if you're in Ventura County, or if you're in High Desert, are you going to San Diego State so you can get in the Big 12? You're probably not. You're probably not. Because if you're a really good baseball player in Southern California, my guess is you'd want to play in the Big 10. My guess is, and let's just say the Pac-12 survives, I think Pac-12 is a pretty good baseball conference. Pretty good baseball conference. But you know how good baseball is, like, around the country? Like, you're not going to San Diego State because it's... Now, football, hey, if you're a Southern California kid and you're the third best linebacker on your team, and San Diego State will write you an offer, and you can play Big 12 football, absolutely, and you want to stay home so you can sleep in your own bed, totally get that. But San Diego State's going to have to ramp up recruiting. And I would venture a guess that if the Pac-12 survives, San Diego State doesn't go to the Big 12 in any way, shape, or form. They want the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Pac-12 survives, okay, if the Pac-12 falls apart, you're not taking San Diego State because A, they don't give you a pro rata, and B, you're going to get 5 teams out of the Pac-12 that you want.
Yeah.
And I think San Diego State stays in the Mountain West because I think the Mountain West has a very legitimate chance to get Washington State at a minimum and probably Oregon State.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens with Oregon State. There's just not a lot of math that puts San Diego State in the Big 12. It doesn't add up. Like, Pacific time zone, Gonzaga can give me the Pacific time zone. Arizona does not give me the Pacific time zone because they're always on fucking mountain time, and I'm not having the argument. But you guys see what I'm saying. Tanner says San Diego State is a basketball school, not a football school. They're a basketball. They're a good basketball school now. No doubt about it. Ron Loney says Hodad's Burgers in San Diego. Food in San Diego. My God. Dude, if you gave me some Modelo and $100, I would be passed out on the street, like bloated from pinto beans.
Venice Parade.
I mean, yeah. Dude. It'd be over. Delaric says San Diego State at best is worth $20 million. More likely somewhere between 13 and 17 for the Big 12. And I don't think it's that much. I don't.
And the other thing is, okay, so let's say they don't offer you the pro rata. You're going to say no?
That's the real question. Because I don't see... Is Apple going to be like, okay, well, yeah. We'll pay you $30 million a school, no matter who you enter. Okay, well, William and Mary, they're coming in the conference. No, I'm not comparing the two, but
yeah.
Is San Diego State worth what Oregon's worth?
No. But I don't think it's a fair comparison.
But I think the president of San Diego State thinks it's a fair comparison.
Yeah, well.
When you use the language, the pro rata we deserve, do you think day one you're walking into the Pac-12 and getting, again, $32 million, for instance? Come on now. Gary says UCLA and USC bringing most of the market, not San Diego State. I don't disagree. Tom Dean, Monty, remember my $5 super chat that rehashed old news? That's my pro rata comment, which rehashed old news was a joke about. Okay, good.
Excellent, Tom. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark Hales, nobody is tuning the TV on to watch San Diego State.
Well, I think the problem is that, again, I guess I'll just be the asshole today. The national championship viewership numbers show that.
Today?
Every day. Right? Like, there's no getting away from it, right? I mean,
Jake, nobody likes you.
Great. I like me. Even San Diego State fan can't deny that the national championship game viewership was not good. And I'm not saying that's all your fault. That's on UConn too. But I'm just saying, like, you can't, like, there are people in the chat right now trying to make the argument that San Diego State has returning starters and that would allow them to run through the Big 12. I don't think so, dude.
Because I think you have to consider the fact that the Mountain West, while a solid conference, it's not even in the same hemisphere. I believe it's on Pluto, the Mountain West, compared to the Big 12, which...
I mean, you're talking about...
Dudes, come on.
Air Force and Wyoming, Colorado State. I got news for you, bro. Kansas is better than Colorado State. Like, come on.
Yeah. Taylor Gilstrap gives us $2.
Just Gilstrap.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gilstrap!
Yeah.
Thank you. This is why politics need to stay out of sports. Maybe fix bigger problems first, Congress. Then he gives us $2 more. Then he gives us $5 more. Gilstrap! Fuck over here.
Yeah.
Why haven't any PAC members seriously considered a Big 12 merger and forced that option to the table?
Because I don't
know. I think it's a really good question.
They don't want to leave.
Which I totally agree with.
They don't want to leave.
I totally agree
with that. They will.
That.
They don't want to.
Jim Choi, how many times have San Diego State sell out the new stadium Snapdragon? I couldn't tell you, but it's brand new. I mean, they are, and look, Rocky Long, I want to make sure everybody understands, like, Rocky Long's solid. I mean, I think he's got like a 700 winning percentage. I mean, in the Mountain
West,
right? He was solid, and Brady Hoke coming back has been okay. But Brady Hoke's a 500 football coach.
Yeah.
Rocky Long was a good football coach, like a really good football coach. And the hard part is, he went 10-3 in his last year there. Right? What was that? 2019.
Like, if you're a team that's, let's just flip it on its head, just for conversation's sake. Let's say San Diego State's a bona fide P5 team, just chilling in the Mountain West. Everybody viewed them as a P5 team. Shouldn't you be a 9 or a 10 win team every single year in both in football? And then shouldn't you be an elite college basketball team?
Rocky won double-digit games 4 out of his 5 last year, and he won, I think, 3 Mountain West championships.
Okay, so at that time then, San Diego State fan, I would have said, yeah, die on the hill. Die on the hill. 10, 11 wins in the Mountain West is probably 7 in the Big 12 in football.
And how many of those years was San Diego State ranked in the top 25? 1, when they were ranked 25th.
That's what I'm saying. It's not as easy as just,
I think.
It's not as easy as just saying, oh, well, hey, San Diego State's got all these appearances and winning records, and Kansas and Baylor have only like 3 winning seasons in the last 50. Yeah, because they're in the Big 12, dude.
Roris. Jake be crushing the small man while simping for the ruling class oligarchs.
What does that even mean?
Okay. I mean...
Like, what does that mean?
Tanner Plummer, Jake, I usually like you, but your San Diego State take is crazy in my opinion. What? Okay.
What's crazy about this? Is okay. So Tanner, I'm gonna call you out on this.
What's crazy?
This is what you do. You say, "Hey, I think you're crazy." Why? Why? Explain it. Because I feel like, me specifically, I feel like I have a pretty strong, well-rounded argument as to why A, you're not a P5, you don't deserve a pro rata.
Don't fuck.
But B, I don't think you would compete for a tournament appearance in the Big 12. No. And you for sure would not be a college football playoff team coming out of the Big 12.
Not right out of the gate.
No way.
Not
no
right
way,
out of the gate.
Dude.
There's no way.
There's no way.
Is it underselling San Diego State, or is it massively underselling the depth and quality of the Big 12 basketball conference? Greg Hawkins, howdy. How the heck are you? Let's see.
Like, San Diego State at Rice-Eccles in November at night.
Oof.
San Diego State, in Stillwater. Come on, dude. Like, be realistic about this.
Yeah. Cowboy country. Big 12 and Pac-12 should make a deal. Should have. That's the biggest mistake the Pac-12 ever made. Not being open about merging.
And that's not on George Kliavkoff, just so we're all clear.
I think that I would hope he took that back to the class, Ron Loney says Island Prime Restaurant in San Diego is amazing. The food in San Diego on its own.
Dude. Now, you want to talk about P5 food availability?
Oh, my God.
All day. All day.
Jim Choi says San Diego State had Don Coryell. John Coryell, bitches.
Waves in opposition.
He didn't. Don Coryell, 61-72, 12 seasons, 104-19 with 2 ties for an 840 win percentage. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Let's not forget Chuck Long. It was 9-27.
Because it's garbage.
I kid. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It just to me, I think San Diego State's good. We just get over the top with it. They are. Adam Solomine says they are winning. They have the highest win percentage in the nation in football and basketball since 2010, with G5 talent in a G5 conference. So
that's the point, dude. What do you like? That's the point.
Delaric says I used to think Jake is crazy, but he has it right this time.
Like, Adam, bro, I love you, dude. Literally, love that you're here. But you're making my point. It's against G5 talent. You can't just be like, oh, well, hey.
It's the blue turf.
Oh, God.
Settle down.
Holy shit. Boise State was terrible again this year, and we beat up on them? Who the hell knew?
Who knew? Gary,
Who knew?
They weren't terrible. They got off to a slow start. Gary says, saying San Diego State deserves P5 is like saying Long Beach University deserves a spot in G5. Exactly. See what he does.
Where are we at in society today?
Long Beach State.
Keep going down the ladder, Gary. I appreciate you, bro. Keep going down the ladder, man.
State. Brady Cook, Tanner, I would have to agree with Jake on this. Truth.
Like, I just don't. I understand if you're a San Diego State fan why this is offensive to you. At the same time, though, at some point you got to come to the middle on this.
Yeah. Construction work in all caps. Because, Jake, if we use that logic, the Big 12 would have never added Houston, BYU, or UCF. BYU has a national championship.
Yeah.
Houston, and I know this is crazy, Houston's one of the best college basketball teams in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And Houston delivers a pretty significant metropolitan market and gives the Big 12 significant control of the state of Texas.
Which matters big time.
Which matters. I would say Cincinnati.
On to Cincinnati.
You're right. I don't know why they added Cincinnati. Please, Bearcat fan, don't. And UCF, I said it the other day, I think UCF's an awkward fit, but it does give you Florida.
It's a play to be in Florida. That's it, dude.
It gives you Florida. Adam Solomine, San Diego State beat Kansas at Kansas. Never got invited back. Probably never will. Big Daddy Magic. Jake has always been in the good graces of Big Daddy Magic.
Well,
do we need to talk about Victor Wembanyama?
Cock.
Do we need to? I mean, are you kidding me right now? Like, I don't understand what, like, that'd be like saying, hey, we're going to go for chicken sandwiches and we're going to go to Burger King when you should have gone to Super Chicks. Damn it. Transition. Super Chicks, Riverdale Road in Ogden, also in the Jeezy, our good friends in St. George.
Yeah, dude, if you're in St. George, man, go out and find them, bro. Like, go out and find them.
And our Jeezy army is strong. The guys in St. George, I love all of you guys, all our listeners down in St. George. Thanks so much for supporting the show. Go see our guys at Super Chicks in St. George. Tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Make sure you get the Bacavo if you want to be a jerk every day like Jake. It's his favorite sandwich.
The Bacavo's a P5, just so we're clear.
No, it's
and it deserves a pro rata.
How? Yeah, I don't know how. I would tell you to get the Cordon Bleu, or go ahead and. Did you just say it was bomb?
Yeah, it's a good Sando. It's not the Bacavo, but it's a good Sando.
Yeah, it's certainly not the deluxe with extra pickles. But the thing I love about Super Chicks, you guys, is all of the veggies are hand cut in-house. Onions, tomatoes, lettuce. Their fries, which are awesome. Salt and pepper fries is the way I go. Cut daily in-house. Their chicken breasts are always full breast. You're not getting thighs because they're cheaper. No, friends. You can get it grilled. You can get it breaded. It's awesome. It's Super Chicks on Riverdale Road in Ogden. Also down in St. George. Make sure you tell me you heard about it on the Monty program. Let's see. MJ Bissett gives us $10 to say enough on San Diego State. They're gold compared to SMU. I live in Dallas, and SMU isn't on a sports bar's TV unless they are playing a P5 from the old Southwest Conference. No team to add for PAC to survive and thrive. That's a really good point, MJ. I think, yeah, I honestly still maintain their best option's Tulane.
Mm-hmm.
So, DW2CB says, kiss my Bacavo.
Kiss my butt.
Greg Hawkins says, LOL, the SEC and Big Ten are taking flagship blue blood schools. Meanwhile, the Big 12 and Pac-12 are fighting over which G5s to add.
That's what I'm saying.
Truth. Oh, God. Edward Enriquez, Cincinnati was most likely added as a travel partner for West Virginia. Plus, they're coming off the college football playoff appearance. Fickle leaving hurts. Yeah, how's the badges? Hey, Fickle, how's Wisco treating you? Can you believe he rolled and then they get into the Big 12? It's not good. Immaculate says SMU versus Arkansas. Let's go.
Right.
You know. Construction work, you're wrong, as usual. Mike Maples, the Bacavo isn't wings from Little Caesars, but it'll do. Oh, my God.
Mike, dude, bro.
I'm not doing this. I am not doing this.
Yeah, wings from Little Caesars are like San Diego State, dude. Come on.
It's bad enough you showed up at RSL the other night in a Boston hat. Bad enough. Now wings, come on.
Glenn right there. Look at my boy Glenn.
San Diego State, I've always been patient. We'll see how well episode 966 ages. If you want to, we could bet a ribeye. Oh, wait, I don't pay my bets. I got a bunch of ball busting on DM on Twitter last night. Hey, dude, look, I understand your poverty program. Can't afford to buy a steak.
Look here, man.
Shouldn't have bet if you can't pay the man. I can't pay him because golf is expensive, and we're both way too busy. It has nothing to do with the cost of a ribeye steak from Don's Meats.
It's $7, dude.
Who cares?
Like,
it's a ribeye steak. I will make it for him on my smoker, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Like, we'll literally stand around the smoker with a couple of beers
Salt,
while it's cooking.
God bless you. Ranch,
yeah,
no blue cheese.
Yeah, let's go.
The ranch at Super Chicks, though.
Way to come in clutch.
The ranch at Super Chicks is amazing. We says Fickle will gain 25 pounds before Christmas eating all the cheese curds.
Fat.
Motherfucker said cheese curds. Look, man, those cheese curds, guys. The cheese curds?
Fat.
Look, I've been to the Brat Stop. I've had the cheese curds.
I'm going to do that.
Dude, you can't say no. And Fickle, dude, the boiler on this guy.
Fat.
I mean, his gut's hanging over his balls. He's in real trouble there.
Fat.
I mean, are you serious right now?
Fat.
That guy ain't seen his, my God. That guy hasn't seen his big toes in like 5 years, fat ass.
Fat.
Lay off the cheese curds. No. Hey, Gilstrap, what are you doing? Let's go. Can I get a Monty to say, I'm gill-strapped, y'all? Yo, bro, I can't make it tonight. I'm gill-strapped.
Hey.
All right, peace out, bitches.
Yeah, I gill-strapped your mom.
What were you doing last night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gill-strapping.
Legendary. Can I get Monty to say I'm gill strapped, y'all, and make a soundbite out of that, for future reference on the show? How did we get here, dude? Oh my God. All right. Okay. Relax. Can we just for a minute? And I know it's not football, but real quick. Can we talk about Taco Bell serving the vegan community? This one really pissed me off today.
Dude.
I'm like, hey, we need to do, because we film 3-4 shorts every day. And
Mm-hmm.
what's our non-sports story? And Jake's like, well, are you sure you want to know this? Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah. And he's like, Taco Bell. I'm like, yes, Mexican pizzas are adding a vegan menu. I'm like, what?
Dude, they're rolling out a vegan menu. And you could already get, like, if you weren't a meat eater, right? Because there's a big difference between vegan and vegetarian, right?
Ooh, Nevada State Senate approves use of public taxes to fund a new stadium for the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's they're going to Vegas. They are going. Did you guys hear what they're doing in Vegas or in Oakland tonight? They're doing a reverse protest.
What does that even mean?
Where they are all going to show out and they're going to sell the team gear to prove, because the Oakland A's ownership has said the fans don't support the team.
Mm-hmm.
Which, trust me, when I live there, the fans support the team.
Yeah.
They're going to do a reverse boycott tonight and fill the place with anti-owner fans. They've created an entire clothing
They're
line.
going to let them in the stadium?
Yes, they have to. They've created an entire clothing line just saying sell the team. It is going to, if you watch Sports Center tonight, because I think it is going to be absolutely bonkers to see what it is and how that's all going to go.
How many of them you think eat the vegan menu at Taco Bell?
Yeah. By the way, why are they doing vegan menus at Taco Bell? While you hit the like button, I'd like you to contemplate that.
Why?
Taco Bell is offering vegan options. That I would like to understand, and I don't.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, it used to be that you could get like a black bean chalupa if you wanted to, or a crunch wrap.
Well, you can get a bean burrito.
Yeah.
Get a bean burrito. I don't need it to be vegan because, frankly, I eat dead chickens at Taco Bell. I'm getting a Mexican pizza. I'm eating ground beef. Now, I don't eat at Taco Bell ever because, frankly, the colon destruction.
Dude, it's rough, bro.
I cannot. And look, I love.
There's nothing better than getting a taco box and some crunch wraps, bro.
Jesus, just give me. Now the problem is it's like $75.
But
it used
true.
To be, it used to be back in the hizzy.
When I was in high school, dude,
you could spend $20 and eat for days.
After school, we would get Taco Bell, right? Get some Mountain Dew when we drank soda, which we don't do anymore. And we would just crush it. And it was like $20 for like a whole buffet of food.
I think about a year ago, we went to Taco Bell.
Oh,
probably less than that. When they reintroduced the Mexican pizza, we went to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And we got like 10 tacos, a couple Mexican pizzas, chalupa, crunch wraps, just like there were three of us.
The spread.
Yeah, there were three of us. We were going to crush it. It was going to be amazing. It was like $70. I remember it was $72. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like, who can afford that?
And it made me sick for a couple days.
Yeah, you were not well.
No.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
You were
it
not
was not
well.
good.
But like, if you're like, honey, I'm feeling a little frisky for some vegan food.
What are you, a muss?
Jenny's vegan delicatessen down on 3rd. Maybe we could go there.
You want to explain that?
Nah, Mitch, we going to Taco Bell, man. They got a vegan menu now.
That's right.
Are you really? If you're like, oh man, I feel so full. My cup, you guys, my cup is full. I went and volunteered at the Humane Society today, and We saved all of those porcupines.
Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
We gave them new homes. I was part of an amazing process where we adopted a 17-year-old golden retriever who coughs up shit, and yet still this family took this golden retriever home knowing he needed daily butt plug changing. My cup.
Oh dear. Oh my.
My cup is full. The only thing I could use now is a vegan Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco Bell. And if I could get some mint-infused water.
Aquapana, please.
If I could also drop a donation for PETA into the box there at Taco Bell, my cuppeth would runneth over with awesome veganism. Said nobody ever said that.
Bro.
Never. So you're adding, oh, well, okay, look, the chalupas, we're moving chalupas, boys, like, I can't even describe. We sold a record number of chicken chalupas last week. What can we do next week to, like, raise our game? Well, you know what? I saw a trend on Twitter where...
TikTok.
I saw a trend on TikTok where these ladies in Berkeley don't shave their crotches and all they do is eat rabbit food.
It's fucking Cole Beasley.
Why don't we add a rabbit pellet burrito with sprouts? That'll do it. Sounds like a great idea, Fred. We're on, folks. Said nobody ever. Nobody said vegan food, Taco Bell, ever.
Taco Bell did all this reinventing, this rebranding. Amazing double-decker drive-thrus and all this awesome stuff. Just be Taco Bell. Just give me the Dorito hard shell taco. Just be on brand. I'll never eat there anyway, but just be you. Why do you got to step into some vegan segment, dude?
You know, I was...
Honey.
I was leaving the hemp store where I picked up my legal marijuana because I have a card. And I was walking down the street and I saw a ground squirrel in distress. As a member of PETA, I stomped on that ground squirrel's skull and put it out of its misery. I better go eat some vegan food at Taco Bell to make my heart full again. Said nobody ever!
Dude.
Like, okay. You know, look. This is just... Royal Blue Saguaro. What did I just tune into?
I don't know. I don't know if I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
I don't know. Mike Maples, who's walking into Taco Bell thinking I'm really got a craving for a vegan
right?
food?
Like what?
Man.
Dude, what?
You know?
No. Chipotle, I understand, but Taco Bell? What are you doing, dude?
Truck Stop Gumby says pause, bro.
That's right? Like, what?
You're out of your freaking mind.
Tanner Plummer says you tuned into Monty's show ASMR.
Honey.
You know, I was riding my bike to work to save the environment.
Ain't ducking, no smoke.
And I noticed on the side of the road that there was a duck. And I thought to myself, man, if I shoot that duck in the face right now, I could have Thanksgiving dinner.
Dude, Ja, chill, bro, chill.
Or I could go to Taco Bell and get vegan food. You know, I've been hankering for some hummus. Is there vegan bread or something?
Non-bread.
You know, I've been hankering for some naan and Impossible burgers on naan with some. If I could get some chickpea hummus, and I could slather it all over my breasts.
Hell no.
Okay, we've reached our limit for the day. No,
I'm not doing that.
Nope.
I hope it won't come to that. And there's nothing you can do to me to make me do it.
If I could get some seaweed hummus.
You're out of your freaking mind.
And spread it between my toes.
Dude. Bro. Nope.
From what I understand.
Nope.
No.
Guys, probably Saul Goodman, tofu. If I could get some chickpea infused tofu.
No.
And just throw the actual tofu. No, you throw that in the garbage.
You need some gill strap tofu.
Shut the fuck up. What I want you to know, the greatness that is tofu is the tofu water in the bottom of the container. Now, most people throw that out because they are of sound mind and they know it's crap.
I doubt that.
Not me. No, sir. I want to drink it with a straw from a bamboo tree.
On the right or the left side?
On the right side where we're watching. I don't know. I'm out. I'm out. What?
Bro, what are you kidding me?
That whole thing was muted?
Bro, oh my.
What?
That's some G5 behavior right there.
Gary says play the music.
Dude, okay. Yeah, here, let me help us here. Okay. All right.
Tanner says we've reached our limit. Since when did you guys have a limit? Well, since when they started serving vegan food at Taco Bell. Where are places where, like, I just think to myself, oh man, I need a healthy meal. I better go to Taco Bell.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm really trying to watch my waistline. I'm going to go get some cheese curds. Right? Like, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. And you're not getting Fred and Jessica, the hippie vegans who wear their hemp-worn thongs
and
all
drive
day.
A Crosstrek.
Right? And they drive their Subaru Crosstrek, right? With their cute little black Labrador who, they compost his shit in their backyard to grow their produce. Right? They're not coming they're not like, oh my God.
Buddy's pulling a compactor behind his car.
Are you see? You guys
You're out of your freaking mind.
Chickpea chalupas? I'm all about it, dude. No, you're not.
I'm not doing that.
No, you're not. Jessica and her furry bush are not coming to Taco Bell.
Her furry bush.
Royal Blue Saguaro. Vegan Taco Bell is like pineapple on pizza.
Okay. Dude.
Why?
Why?
See, like
why?
say,
we had such a good take going.
Saguaro, you say stuff like that. And
That's
I don't.
what fucking fuck off.
I'm like, I don't know who you are anymore. Big Bad Brass Ball says, you're corrupting my little mind. Please stop. Exactly right. Fat Jesus says, no, only last sentence was muted. Okay, good.
All right,
Thank
good.
God.
Okay.
Big Daddy Magic, I bought Super Chat twice. You never read it. When did you do that?
Vexes me.
Oh, there it is.
Terribly
Man
vexed.
Cat 1, brand new member of the show. Jake, whip it out.
Yeah, we're gill strapping.
Way to go. Big Daddy Magic, all pissed off.
Here we go.
I love Aisha. Please give honor of Take You SummerSlam.
Whatever.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I thought you agreed you would not take edibles before you commented. What is Aisha? Like Aisha Curry? Is that what you mean? But it's got to be a SummerSlam's a wrestling. I don't know who that is.
Excuse me.
Daddy Man.
Wrestling.
That's a wrestling reference. I don't know who that is. And if you do, please explain it to me.
Okay, wow.
Please explain it to me because I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know who that is. All right. Real quick.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Lined up the non-sports topics today.
Damn.
We I don't even know where to go with this one. There is a new survey that says men believe short women are better for hookups.
Cock.
Short women are better for hookups than long-term relationships.
This is wild, dude.
Do you guys believe in that?
No. Oh.
What does somebody's height have to do with it?
Yeah, I don't understand this logic.
I would love to understand it, but I do not. So, like, do you have a type? This is from the Daily Mail, UK. In a study, men said shorter women were their preferred choice for a fling. Women preferred taller men regardless of nature of their relationship.
I want it.
Asked their ideal height of a woman for, quote, uncommitted short-term relationships, men typically chose women shorter than them. Researchers at the universities of Cuba and Canada, Norway, and the United States said their findings are indicative of assortive mating preferences.
Excuse me. Assortive?
Assortive mating is a form of sexual selection based on certain observable criteria that closely mirror theirs, including relative height, social status, personality, and risk of passing along disease.
I need a dick.
Wow. Okay, so clearly it's been a minute since I dated.
Bro.
But am I the only one who's like, it's okay, short women? I don't understand this right here.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody needs to explain it to me. But what does the height of a woman have to do with whether or not you want to marry her? Is this true? Big Jack 512 says, goddamn straight.
Yeah,
Is
you
this
gotta,
true?
You gotta scroll up to Fat Jesus' comment. A little bit higher.
Okay.
A little bit higher right there.
Fat Jesus says you can't explore all of a tall woman in one night.
Facts.
I mean, okay. Saul Goodman, short women. No. Spinners. Ron Loney says exactly, Fat Jesus. Wow. I don't understand. If you need an explanation, Ball says, you'll never understand. Am I really this far out of touch? Now, I've been married for what feels like 100 years.
Right.
But you're a dating man. Does height of the woman matter?
I mean, just from a sexual standpoint, I guess. I mean,
No,
you know,
have you ever said to yourself, well, you meet a blind date and you're like, oh, she's 5'3". This is going to be a one-night stand.
No, I've never said that to myself. Never have I said that to myself.
I can't say that I've ever thought that myself.
Now,
either.
for all the people in the comments who are being complete degenerates saying that, hey, you know, taller dude, shorter person, you know, better activities, I guess. But I don't date like that. I'm not rolling out on a date
like
being
that.
like, yeah, well, man, better make sure that she's 5'3". Man, wow, we're doing it. Like that's not how I live life, dude. I'm not like it. That just seems so foreign to me. That tells me your intent is not to have a relationship. That's what that says, I feel like.
Tanner Plummer says, my wife just said this survey makes sense because shorter women have a lot of fire and have bigger personalities, which is good for a quick hookup.
Okay. I mean, if that's, you know, okay.
Thought never crossed my mind.
Is your wife short? Is she tall? What's her perspective?
Adam says, I'm pretty sure men just prefer a hoo-ha instead of a ding-a-ling. No height requirement.
What I just said.
Okay. Oh, shoot. I didn't know I was supposed to break up with my girlfriend because she's short.
Right?
Exactly. Fat Jesus. Short women look awkward in couples photos.
Oh, please.
Come
on.
I always have to crouch down. They only good for short term.
See what he did there? They're only good for short term because they're short. See what he did there?
Okay. Royal Blue Saguaro. More hot pineapple and pizza takes incoming. Right? Does height of your partner, like, are you, my wife is 5'10", 5'9". I'm almost 6'3" and a half.
But like, that's a reasonable ratio. That's a reasonable ratio.
But if you're Shaq, who are you dating?
At that point, you just don't care because you're Shaq, right? For the everyday average Joe, average person, right? Like,
well,
you know, I think it somewhat matters, but I'm not.
Royal Blue Saguaro says, my wife is 5'1", full Italian. Let's go. Fellow Italian, thank you very much. And she said this is stupid.
Where is the Italian?
But I do think, and what this takes me to is I do think that we as men specifically, I think we have unrealistic expectations based on a woman's looks. I think we as men, she's great. And, the sexual activity is fantastic. Time to propose. Never mind that she's crazy or she's had 31 different boyfriends or she's keeping the ring. Like, you look at Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson situation.
Dude.
Fat! He's dating strippers, man.
Fat!
Like, I think we as men, I think the hard part for women is men and women look at sex, love, and dating completely different.
Yep.
Like, men, I think in our teen years, were just straight up carnivores.
Transactional.
Yeah, that's it. I can honestly say I never fell in love until I met my wife. Meeting my wife completely changed me. Before that, though, like I'd never really thought about love and forever, and I think men we are just oddly different in those situations. I honestly. So this survey does not surprise me. Dude, taking a survey, an anonymous blind survey and asking dudes about sex you're just pouring gas on the fire.
Please.
Right? Like, that's all this is. That's all it is. Monty owes a ribeye. My girlfriend is a foot shorter than me.
Oh.
Okay. Mapes, my wife is 5'4", married 18 years, happier than ever. And Mapes is a tall dude.
Yeah.
Let's see. Already read that one. Fat Jesus, is there a short person hookup site, Jake?
Not that I'm aware of.
Greg Hawkins, my wife is 5'2", perfect height for me at 5'10". I can rest my chin on top of her head when I hug her.
There you go.
Aww.
That's so cute.
Tanner says my wife is 5'5". Is that short? Is that tall? You be the judge. Personal height doesn't matter to me. I
don't know. Are you taller or shorter?
I don't think it matters. Fat Jesus, I'm with you, Monty. I never fell in love until I met your wife, too. See?
See what he did there? See what he did there?
Yeah, I have great, Darren Anderson, NIL became a minor factor last year and a major factor this year. San Diego State had 6 players on their roster that were high school recruits. You're welcome. Jimmy, yes, Greg. Me, 5'9", my wife, 5'1", chin, head perfect. I'm not going to try.
Waves in opposition.
I'm just going to leave that right. If Shaq is the reference, then I agree. I would never be in a long-term relationship with a 3-foot woman.
Okay, I think I could be wrong. Gilstrap's about to become a legend with this comment. I could be wrong though.
Fuck, here we go. Gilstrap!
Hey,
let's
Gilstrap!
go!
Get your ass over here.
Gilstrap. I like my women like I like my ribeye, with a little bit of fat on the end. Not too much, not too little, just enough to make me grin. Yes! Wow. Wow. The Nye guy, Kyler Murray must be slaying them elves. Why?
Yeah!
Why the Kyler
Let's
Murray
go!
reference? Like, is that necessary? Is that necessary to have the Kyler Murray reference? He's actively in the gym squatting. Like, look at my guy here. Look at my guy here squatting to, get it, Kyler. Get that face. Let's go, Kyler. Up. My guy. Let's go, Kyler. Okay, I feel better. Fat Jesus says, Gilstrap. See? Tanner Plummer. Correction. What my wife meant for her earlier comment, because their big personalities can be a lot to handle, some men don't want that in a relationship.
Oh, got it. Okay, I see.
Fat Jesus says Gilstrap. Big Jack 512, stop with the conference realignment already. We're talking about sex with short women.
Yeah, get your San Diego State crap out of here. We're talking about this now.
Gilstrap says, I'll be expecting a guest invite to the show. PM me. The short woman thing, I totally
That's
don't
weird,
get it.
dude. It's weird, bro. It's weird.
I don't understand.
Yeah, that's weird,
all right. We have to get to this alien story in the Marines before we get out of here, but I must remind you, the official pizza of the Monty Show is Papa Murphy's. Have you gotten the meatball marinara yet?
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do meatballs and marinara.
Papa Murphy's does meatballs?
Oh, I think you mean I do the meatballs and marinara?
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Well, we do it with savory ground beef
Covered in tangy marinara. That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
And don't forget the meatballs.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Download the Papa Murphy's app. Easiest way to get the best pizza in the business. Papa Murphy's. I talk about their meatball and marinara all the time, you guys. Like, get the calzone, slam the marinara meatballs on top of it. Dude, it's over. It is so good. Make sure you use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more. Saguaro says, vegan Taco Bell, short women, sex, and aliens. What a freaking show.
That's right.
C. Kaufman says, see you guys tomorrow. Mike V says, show going off the rails, gentlemen. Have a good night.
Yeah.
That's non-sports stories of the day for you. Did you guys hear the story about the Marines reportedly loading alien UFOs?
Allegedly.
An ex-Marine says his unit saw a massive UFO being loaded with weapons by unmarked U.S. forces. Michael Herrera was 20 years old when he was sent on a humanitarian mission following a 2009 earthquake in Indonesia. It was there, he says, his 6-man unit saw a hovering octagonal UFO.
I'm sorry, did you say octagonal?
Octagonal, which appeared to be used by unmarked U.S. forces. Herrera said, quote, I could see something moving and rotating. It was changing colors between a very light matte gray to a very dark matte black. It stuck out like a sore thumb. The thing was massive, the size of a football field. When he and his unit got within 150 feet of the UFO, Herrera claims they were greeted by 8 men wearing all black camouflage and bulletproof vests armed with M4 rifles with high-end night vision attachments. As they had their weapons confiscated and military IDs scanned, Herrera said he saw men loading large weapon cases onto a platform beneath the UFO. Okay, do you guys believe this?
Infowars.com.
Do you guys believe this? First of all, again, I'm just saying. I think alien UFOs are real. Mrs. Monty does not believe in them at all whatsoever. She's like, yeah, I don't know. They're unidentified. How the fuck do you know? If aliens are out there and their UFOs are out there and you can't tell me they have not come to Earth, Now, having said that, I don't believe this for a second, man.
Yeah.
I'm not, but you're not buying it either.
Yeah, I think the trouble I have with it is like, oh, we were on a humanitarian mission, and then all of a sudden there was a football-sized aircraft that was being loaded, and you and a couple of your buddies were the only ones that saw it. Come on,
yeah,
dude.
somehow that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't add up, bro.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Gilstrap gives us $2 to say y'all are awesome, always fun, always informative. Thanks, Gilstrap. Do you guys believe in it? Fat Jesus does not. He says this dude was high and watching Men in Black. It kind of sounds like it. But right, it kind of sounds like it.
Yeah, it does.
Jimmy, when the aliens come, we will not win.
The rack attack!
Tanner says this sounds very Q. Truckstop Gumby says alien anon. Mike Maple says ayahuasca is a hell of a drink. You know. Glenn, the San Diego State fan, says, gotta run episode 966, keeping receipts.
Yeah, you better, bro.
Let's find out. Adam says we're ending on Art Bell vibes. Yes, do you know who Art Bell is?
No.
Was?
No.
Alien radio host and amazing. I believe it. I've seen some interesting stuff out at Dugway Proving Grounds. Louis Capazzo says, you do, Capazzo, believe it.
The other thing I always wonder is like, the whole concept of like our eyes playing tricks on us or us seeing things.
Well,
like this story feels very much, I agree, it feels very much like they were high or something. I mean, it just doesn't add up that you were on a humanitarian mission and then, that same night, like you just Like, I need more context. Did you walk off into some open field or something, or like what? Like, you know what I mean?
Herrera says when he returned back to the base in Japan, an Air Force lieutenant colonel in full uniform but no name tag told him, "quote You're not allowed to talk about what happened, not to your chain of command, not even a general. You will go to prison or you will die." That's crazy. He claims the craft rose off the ground a little past the trees, then shot off to our left towards the ocean at around 4,000 miles an hour.
Right, because you know what 4,000 miles an hour looks like.
From a dead stop, it didn't make any sound like a sonic boom. It didn't disturb the trees like rotor wash would. We could see coconuts on the tree, and none of them were disturbed.
That's what I mean. You're describing hallucinating.
He says his 5 unit members are still too afraid to come forward. Quote, "It's not worth my life or jeopardizing my family," one of them told Herrera. Well, I don't know, man. I
mean, I agree there's a lot of detail in the story, but not enough detail.
I don't believe it lock, stock, and barrel. Yeah. I don't. Greg Hawkins says aliens would look at us as an invasive species.
Yeah.
They probably would. Truck Stop Gumby, east of the Rockies, you're on the air. Art Bell is amazing. Tanner, I think aliens are real, but I don't like this. I don't think this story is legit. 801 West Valley, Infinite Universe, no way we are alone. No way
Agreed.
We are alone.
Agreed.
Gilstrap, I always love watching, even if you miss you live. I make sure to watch the show when I can. I'm out, leaving one last membership gift, then eating college ramen for a week. Night, fellas.
Bro, you really got to work on that NIL situation, bro.
Ramen's so good.
Taking one extra ramen from the food table.
So Goodman says we should be scared of Terminator / Han aliens.
Okay.
Truck Stop Gumby. So we're giving the aliens weapons, or we're receiving weapons from the aliens. I was saying I don't think we're giving it to them. Capazzo, electric magnetic propulsion. Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. Michael Peck says on the next episode of Joe Rogan. Does Joe talk about aliens all the time? Or Saguaro says, should we offer the aliens some vegan Taco Bell? That'll save us all.
They could probably burn it off for their jet.
Hey, E.T., look, before you suck my brains out of my skull, I'm going to offer you. This is called a chickpea chalupa. They say it's vegan, which means it's good for you. Would you like it? And then he just cut your brain off with a taser.
Good talk.
Good
talk.
An alien walks up to you. Do you say anything? Do you try to run away? If it's
I
over,
think
it's over.
At that point, you've accepted your fate.
You better have accepted your fate, I think. The night guy, I know what 4,000 miles an hour looks like. I've eaten at Italian Village, and it goes subsonic trying to get out of you. Wow. Truth. Jimmy, it's like John Canzano. I think they believe it, but the story is not real.
Damn,
wow.
Bro.
Jimmy.
Damn, Jimmy.
Settle down.
Wow. Getting it.
Let's see. Adam says, Art Bell once said that San Diego State deserves $22.2 million from the Big 12.
There you go.
To which Darren Anderson says, in the last 10 years, San Diego's... Darren? No. Capazzo says, or it will start an intergalactic war, Royal Blue Saguaro says. Capazzo says, Jake, I'm a tinfoil hat wearing person.
Then you believe this story, bro, and that's cool. You know.
Okay. Ron Nolan says, I once saw a floating dodecahedron in the high Uintas. An alien spacecraft. Well, that's interesting. That's cool. Hey, man. That's super cool. I believe in UFOs. I don't believe that aliens live on the earth among us. I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
Do I believe that body cam from the cop last week in Vegas?
That was wild, bro.
Where they saw something crash out of the sky, and then those people in the house where it crashed said they saw tall alien figures with wide eyes. I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah.
I just think it is what it is, I
mean,
think
it's tough. Because the problem is it's never clear and definitive. It's never hey, they look like this and they fly like that. It's always like this really grainy footage.
Totally. Yeah,
and we
so
can never get a handle.
I don't know if I believe it. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. I'm not convinced that I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I am not saying it's wrong.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I don't believe that, and again, this is just my opinion. I don't believe that we need to, what's the right way to say it? I don't think we need to speculate. I think at some point we have to accept it.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
I think at some point we have to accept it.
Yeah.
Don't forget that Canyons Golf at Park City is the official golf course of the Monty Show. Love playing with my guy Darren Ingram. Be back up there this weekend. Why don't we go golf at Canyons this weekend, you guys? Let's go hook it up. The best course, the best carts, the best hospitality, world-class golf, private club feel, lush fairways, awesome greens. It's Canyons Golf. It's everything you want in a resort town like Park City. Hook it up. ParkCityMountain.com. Make sure you tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.